1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Frank, Hays, Lauren, and RJ, The Frangie Show starts now on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, welcome in, guys, along for the ride on this Tuesday installment of our program. Our Tuesday is always brought to you by my friends at the Nimnick family of dealerships. That means Nimnick Chevrolet on Cassett, Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. And if you come out to this ballpark before long, there will be the Nimnick family of dealerships picnic area. That's going to be unbelievable. Right there, right behind, right there.
Awesome. Right
there on the water, under the oaks. And we thank our friends from Nimnick for sponsoring so many of the things we do. They're such good friends of mine in the radio station and walk-off charities. We're live out here at Bragan Baseball Complex. Day 2 of the games. We had baseball yesterday. We had softball yesterday. 2 more baseball, 2 more softball today. No rain in the offing. So yesterday we did get rain last night. The first 2 games in baseball, we'll give you the scores in a bit, but the baseball, the first baseball, first softball game got in while we were on the air. They started the second game, and it didn't last very long. About an inning in, it really came. I mean, it really came down, and there was a delay. The softball teams didn't want to go back out. They're going to make their game up on Thursday. Bishop Snyder and Ponte Vedra, the 2 baseball teams, did want to play. So after about a 45-minute delay, they went back out. The bad of that is Matt Hogue headed to Florida State, who's really good. Aiden King headed to Florida, who's really good. I think they threw about 25 pitches between them. You can't bring them back out, not in a game like this. So I think I really think Aiden threw 9 pitches for Snyder. I think Matt threw 17. So that's 2 of the best pitchers in town. I'm telling you, we were joking yesterday about, I told you the only scout I was going to allow in was this Pirate scout. I don't know if you guys saw some of the pictures on social. Did you see them? Mm-hmm. The whole center row of the grandstand was scouts with their guns.
That's awesome.
It was, I mean, those guns were going off. Those radar guns were going off left and right. So they saw about 15 pitches, but those guys will certainly pitch throughout the course of the season, and scouts will get a chance to see them. We'll give you, as the season goes on, we'll give you a bunch of scores. We'll give you updates. We'll tell you what's going on today here. But we are certainly happy to be live at the Bragan Baseball Complex, Day 2 of the Walk-Off Charities Baseball and Softball Classic. Softball to our left, baseball to our right. You cold yet? You're never cold. You cold?
I tell you what, you were right. The wind does blow in here.
It's cold. The wind blows in, and it's always colder here. It's 8 degrees colder than anywhere in Jacksonville. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, that's wild.
And the wind, there hadn't been a home run hit yet because the wind's always blowing. There hadn't been a home run in softball or baseball.
Yeah.
Because it's not they're not big parks. Now softball's pretty big. Softball's 225, which is big for softball.
That's big.
Baseball is 315 down the lines, which is good size, but only 350 to center. And so you could remember San Souci, exact same dimensions, and a lot of home runs because there's no wind at San Souci. You know, San Souci's got all those pines around it. You guys have been there enough times. It's the whole the whole complex is surrounded by the school on one side, and then like the pines everywhere else. And that big field is totally surrounded by those pines, so wind can't get in. Mm-hmm. Here we're wide open.
Yeah.
So the expressway is behind us. You know, so there's wind everywhere coming in
so
here.
if somebody hits a home run in
You've
either
earned
softball or baseball here, that's right.
That's
you absolutely
you
have.
doggone right you have. So it's a pitcher's park. Well, go figure. I built a pitcher's park. So
no surprise there.
So certainly it is that. Hey, lots of things I want to talk about today. One more look at the NFL as we move forward. The NFL's behind us now. Then we'll get to some other stuff. Although the NFL's never really out of season. We are not that far away from free agency in the NFL, the league year beginning. So we'll certainly talk about that. But I want to get to that. I want to ask you guys today, one of the things I've got planned for the show, who are the real star up-and-coming coaches, both in the college and pro realm? Who are the guys, if you got the LSU job tomorrow, or if you got the New York Jets job tomorrow, and you could have a guy for the next 10 years, who's your list? Like Andy Reid's not on the list.
Right.
Okay, so it's not a guy. The guy Nick Saban wouldn't have been on the list if he was still coaching, right? It's because it's the next because I think that's a fun topic.
Absolutely.
I think it's a fun topic. Who are those guys? Who's the next group of those guys? So we'll certainly get into that a little bit today on the program. Did you see Richie Leonard's comments?
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, but I think there's some significance to that, and Gator fans don't want to hear it. I'm a Gator fan. I didn't want to hear it. But I think there's some significance. Lauren, did you see the comments that Richie
I did.
Yeah, and I won't even tell people what did he say. We're gonna have to wait. Okay, that's called a radio tease, is what that is. But I thought there was some significance to that. So we'll certainly get to that coming up later on in the program as well. So some NFL talk, some Jaguar talk as always. We'll update you on the baseball in just a bit when we come back. But a lot of NFL, a lot of football. But we're in basketball season. We're in the heart of basketball season, and I'm going to start the show with that even as we speak. Because I think Florida's going to beat LSU tonight. I think FSU had some good runs. They're not there this year. Does it matter? Does basketball matter more when you're not good at football? Does it matter more when you're good at football? Does football have no bearing? It's interesting to me because I find myself as a Florida fan disenchanted, I guess is the right word, right, with all this happening in football. And although gymnastics and golf and baseball and so many other sports are very good, people used to say football stands alone. Well, the reality is football and basketball stand alone. Now, there's a gap between them. I know that. In this region of the country, I get that. But they still stand alone, don't you think?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and so I mean, are you more or less excited about this Florida basketball team because – based on what football's doing, what's the connection for you?
For me, it's more.
Yeah.
Because it's just you haven't
Me
had
too.
a lot to be happy about. And, look, when they beat Kentucky at Rupp the other day, and certainly when they trounced Auburn at home, I mean, that was a pretty good 2 hours of sports fandom. I mean, if you're a Gator and you just don't – I mean, to me, you always appreciate it when basketball is good. There's no bad time for basketball to be good, but – I think especially now, with football giving you so little, I think what Todd Golden's doing, he has a chance to, if this becomes like a Sweet 16 run, I mean, Todd Golden is going to be a megastar in Gator Nation for giving them something to feel good about for 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think people in the Southeast care nearly as much about basketball as other parts of the country. But certainly when your football team is not good, Florida State, I think, could tell you this. When Florida State's football team was at its worst, their basketball team was at its best, and at least it gave them something to look forward to.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I mean, there's never a bad time to be good at basketball. It's never going to be as important as football to most of us around here. But I've got more juice for it, and I thought about this. Is it more juice because basketball's been bad lately? Or is it more juice because football's been bad? It's really the latter, Yeah. It's the latter for me. It's the fact that I said this before Florida played Kentucky on our radio show. I said, Gator fans need a fist pump moment. They need a moment to pump their – you just haven't had that. Look, I loved the baseball, and you loved the gymnastics, and the golf won the national title. I mean, there's other stuff we love. But even you, as much as you love gymnastics – that fist pump isn't like a football or basketball fist pump, is it? For you?
I mean, it is for me, but I don't share it with anyone.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
You don't have people
I share it with
right.
my family, but
I get it. Yeah.
There's not a bunch of Gators out there that I know that are locked in every Friday night like I am.
And listen, when Florida was in the College World Series and in the final series and playing LSU and Wyatt Langford, that ball, if it gets over the left fielder's head, they win the national championship. I watched every minute, every inning, every pitch. I was jacked up. It was phenomenal. And I'm a baseball guy. But I'm not going to kid you. It's not like playing Ohio State for the championship of college football. It's not even for me, a diehard baseball guy didn't compare to that. Did it for you? Maybe a little bit.
No, it doesn't compare to football. But I would say baseball and men's basketball, the success.
Yeah.
I find just as much joy in both of those.
Okay, good. Fair enough. So we'll
I also need joy because my pro football team didn't do all that well this season, and that's another reason I'm looking for it in other areas.
And you know what? And that's a good point too. I haven't think about that. But what about your other teams?
Yeah.
If your other teams aren't good, whether it's the Jaguars for football, but so it's interesting stuff. So we'll talk about that tonight against LSU. We'll get to that game coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. Any trouble tonight with LSU?
Shouldn't be.
You wouldn't think, right?
LSU can't really stop anybody that's good offensively, so I would think Florida being at home, I would think it's a really high-scoring game, but I would think Florida covers the 10.5-point spread and probably wins like 96-82.
I think the only concern is the emotional win that you just had and all the firepower you put into that. that it's
There's
such a
some truth
quick
to that.
turnaround. I'm certainly glad they're at home. If this was at LSU, I feel completely different. I think Florida wins, but I do think that they're not going to start off 9-0 against LSU.
Letdowns in college sports are real. It's naive, to your point, it's naive to suggest that they're not real because they are real. Letdowns in college sports are real. Letdowns in college sports happen. And I'm glad it's LSU tonight. I'm glad it's not a better team coming in. I'm glad Alabama's not coming in tonight or one of the better.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to have a team that, and even if you win tonight, to go on the road against the Georgia game concerns me more than it does you guys. But you're right, Hays. You'd rather, if you've had some emotional wins and you got that letdown at some point coming, you'd sure rather play a team that's really kind of struggling.
Yeah, LSU's 1-5 on the road, and they've played Alabama twice and given up 109 in both meetings. Florida's not Alabama offensively, but they're pretty close. And I would think at home they're going to score a ton. And, it just then becomes, can LSU match it? And I just don't think they'll be able to. LSU might have hired the wrong coach. That guy's under 500, and this is midway through his second year. So there's
Will Wade. Do you go back and get Will Wade?
I might.
Hey,
He's
hey,
a
you
pioneer.
got to go back.
He just got an extension.
You got to go back and get it.
You
don't
might
you?
need to. He was doing it the right way, and all of us were wrong.
Yeah, my moments of enjoying you and the Frangie Show, the Will Wade moments are some of the best ones ever. They might have been some of the great moments of all time. I got a lot to talk about today. When we come back, I'll update you on what's going on at the Walk-Off Charities High School Baseball and Softball Classics. I want you to know who's winning, who's losing, who's playing, what are some of the updates. And I want to talk about the rising stars in the football coaching world. I think that's a fun topic. Who's out there? Who we missed? Who are people talking about? We'll do that. We'll do some baseball, some softball, some football all coming up. Glad you're with us on a Nimnik Tuesday. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
You may think you're an idiot, but with all due respect, I'm a much bigger idiot than you are.
Humble and self-aware.
Don't insult me, my friend. Remember who you're talking to. No one's a bigger idiot than me.
Mornings on 1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Look, we've got to break free of pest infestation, and Kingfish Pest Control has helped me do that. They can help you do that. They've helped out a ton of my neighbors, and I tell you what, if it comes to ants, termites, mosquitoes, any annoying pests, Kingfish Pest Control is who you need to go to. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here. It's time to give your vehicle the care it deserves. Big Chief Tire is your go-to destination for general maintenance. They keep jacks rolling, and that means ensuring your vehicle is in tip-top shape. From oil changes to brake repairs, their team of experts is dedicated to keeping you safe on the road. Visit the website at bigchieftire.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment at any of their 5 Jacksonville locations.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Hicken here. The Borland Groover Foundation proudly presents the annual March to Get Screened 5K race and 1 mile fun run. Sunday, April 14th. The race starts at 7 a.m. under the Fuller Warren Bridge. Their mission, raise awareness about colorectal cancer and related deaths. All proceeds benefit the Borland Groover Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Bridging the gap between the First Coast and the swamp.
Gators.
I'm Taylor Dahl. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL as I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
Ackerman Cancer Center now offers total body MRI, the latest industry-leading technology. Just one non-invasive scan provides a complete picture of your health to detect and monitor cancer with precision at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Hey, folks, are you tired of shopping those online dealers that overpromise and underdeliver? Are you ready to sell or looking for a deal? Well, find your next used vehicle at Nimnick Buick GMC with Car Bravo. Look, it's a better way to shop used vehicles online. With transparent pricing, Nimnick Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Now, that means Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. All makes, all models. Buying a certified used vehicle has never felt better. Now, Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Car Bravo dealer in the Southeast region and top 10 in the country. And there's always a great selection with hundreds of used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. So now's the time. Shop at Nimnick Buick GMC with Car Bravo. That's Nimnick. Your friends in the car business since 1941.
Did you know Prime Roofing manufactures, fabricates, and installs their metal roofs? If you're thinking about a metal roof, think Prime Roofing. Schedule an estimate today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Prosser here. Have you tried selling your home and it just wouldn't go? Have you thought about selling your home and thought the problems were too much? Let me give you your solution. It's chadandsandy.com. How's this for a promise? All right? This is a promise. Your home sold, guaranteed, or they will buy it. Chad and Sandy have the solution for your problems. In fact, they have the promises. So don't worry about required costly repairs. Nope. Pick your move date. Yes, you can. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So many satisfied customers out there. How about Lee and Shelley in Deerwood? We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called because we needed a miracle. We had to move my mom to assisted living and needed money ASAP to pay for it, but Mom's Condo Association was under litigation, which limited the sale to cash buyers only. Chad and Sandy went to work. They had our money 15 days later. Truly a miracle. Call the agents we trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Hey, we're glad you're with us. We are live on a Nimnick Tuesday, live from the Bragan Baseball Complex at Fort Family Field, the home of Walk-Off Charities, which I'm proud of, and also the home of a terrific tournament, our Walk-Off Charities High School Classic, softball and baseball. Yesterday, Providence beat Wolfson 3-0. No-hitter, by the way, a combined no-hitter for Providence. They're very good, two good programs. In the nightcap, Ponte Vedra beat Bishop Snyder 5-2, and in that game, as we told you, the two starting pitchers, Aiden King for Snyder, Matt Hogue for Ponte Vedra, going to Florida and Florida State respectively, were very, very good in that game. So we have some really good pitchers, but the only two. Hayes, the bad thing about that is they only got to throw a handful of pitches, which is kind of the bummer.
Yeah, that is a bummer. But obviously we've got off season, so make it a point to get out and watch these guys.
Yeah, so we have a lot of, and I'll tell you, by the way, Kyle Powers, the Providence pitcher, who's really good also, is going to JU. We're talking about some good programs.
This is a great area for baseball.
It really is.
It's unbelievable.
And we saw three of them last night. So, again, that was the scores from yesterday. Providence beats Wolfson 3-0. Ponte Vedra beats Bishop Snyder. So the championship game of that bracket will be Providence and Ponte Vedra. That game now will be Thursday night at 7. We've moved the schedule around a little bit. So that's a Thursday night at 7 o'clock start. for that game. Bishop Snyder and Wolfson, the two teams that lost that game, will play Thursday at 4 o'clock. On the softball side, Paxton beat Clay 9-4 yesterday. Episcopal First Coast got their game started, but the rain came, so that was rained out, so they will make it up 4 o'clock on Thursday, and then the winner goes on to play Paxton. The loser will play Clay. Today in baseball, Sandalwood and Trinity, two really good programs. Trinity Christian under Jonathan Murphy, the younger brother of Daniel Murphy, versus Sandalwood, my buddy Tim Moses, the coach there. That's two really good programs. First Coast tonight, by the way, has another guy, Hunter Carnes, who's on his way to FSU, but people think he won't get there because he's going to be drafted very high. That's how many good players. I mean, you talk about the players. I mean, there's a lot of big-time players in this city and in this tournament. First Coast and West Nassau, that's the nightcap in baseball. So Sandalwood, Trinity, and then First Coast and West Nassau on the baseball side. On the softball side, Mandarin and Bishop Snyder getting ready to start right now. At 4 o'clock, the 7 o'clock game, Bishop Kenny versus Nice. All that on the softball side. So all kind of really good stuff. A little bit chilly. It's always chilly in baseball and softball. I can tell you, playing high school baseball, we used to play these exhibition games in February, even late January. Cold baseball's hard now. You catch one in the elbow or in the back in one of those cold days. Whew.
Yeah, I saw a softball player yesterday get hit in the back by a pitch, and I thought that it was warm yesterday.
Yeah,
I still thought, ow, that hurts. I'm not tough enough for that. But yeah, I mean, it's in the 60s. It's just very windy, so therefore it feels colder than
it
that.
Doesn't feel 60s. Okay, it may be 60 or 61.
64 is what it says.
I promise you,
it doesn't
feels like 47.
It really does. I mean, it does. I mean, with the wind howling here, and I tell you, this place is way open, and so it feels very cold out here. We love it.
Lasted for 1 segment. And I was like,
yeah,
gonna need more.
Yeah,
got a jacket in the car.
Hayes had has a hoodie on. Went back and got a pretty heavy jacket. And you're never cold.
Yeah.
You're the never cold guy.
Well, it is weird because as you walk to like the concessions, it does warm up like substantially,
exponentially.
Because as I'm walking to the car, I'm like, well, maybe I don't. And I was like, no, I need it.
Right.
And then by the time you get the final 50 yards walking this way.
Right.
Boy, that wind starts to pick up, like you were saying.
I want to start with you, Hayes. College coaches, we'll get to the NFL. College coaches on the rise. If you were going to go get a guy, are there a handful of guys that pique your interest, that has your attention? Who are they?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the collegiate level, if you could have pretty much anybody, and you're talking guys that haven't probably reached the peak of their career, I mean, look, you would have to give Mike Norvell a long look, obviously, with
almost
his ability,
first on the list, didn't he?
Yeah, to do what he did, taking over for Willie Taggart, and worked the portal brilliantly, continues to do so, has picked up his ability as a high school recruiter, and I think he's improved as an in-game coach. So I think he'd have to be on anybody's list. He's kind of a unique person. But Eli Drinkwitz, man, I
wrote him down. I saw
another top 25 today. I think it was Schlabaugh's. He had Missouri 7th. I mean, at some point, you got to go hire that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if he takes Missouri and continually is winning 9, 10, 11 games, then obviously he's and he did very well at App State and before he got to Missouri. So, I think Eli Drinkwitz would have to be on the list in terms of guys that probably haven't hit the peak. I don't think the well is as deep at the collegiate level as I think it is in the NFL level in terms of up-and-comers. But those would be two that I think you'd have to start a list with. I'm not kind of putting Lane in, even though he's still kind of young.
Yeah, but
it feels like Lane's been around too long to sort of qualify for this.
Yeah, I kind of, with Lane and even Dan Lanning, have they grown off the list? You know what I mean?
I think so.
They might have grown their way because we haven't really defined the list. But you know what I'm talking about.
Dan Lanning said no to Alabama.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
off the list.
Out of the list of like up and coming.
I think he's probably off the list too. So, Lauren, who did we miss? I got a bunch of them here.
I would say, I think a guy who's rising up the ranks would be Garrett Riley, the Clemson offensive coordinator.
So, and as an assistant coach. Okay,
right,
so
as an assistant coach.
Okay.
But, I mean, I think when you see the next wave of jobs come open
he's going to get a job. He may get a small school job. You're right.
Yeah, I think he'll be one of those guys. So does Josh Heupel fit your list?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I would say, I mean,
I think he absolutely belongs on this list.
Didn't have the best season, certainly, this past season without Hendon Hooker, but I think he's a guy that
he's young enough to be on this list. I think.
I think so.
He's almost to where Kiffin is off the. But he's still on it. I agree with you. No, he's a good. Let me because I think Norvell, golly, might be as high. I mean, Kalen DeBoer should be on the list. Now he just got the Alabama job, so we'll see.
Right.
It's a tough world. I said this when he got the job. I don't think he's going to make it, and it's not his fault. I just think you got the Alabama job, man. You're following Saban. I don't know who would want that job, and so. But I think he's got to be on the list. I think Mike Norvell might be higher than anybody on this list. Now, again, he's at a great school. He's at a blue blood school, so he may never leave it. But I think he's the really high on this list. Drinkwitz was one of the first guys I wrote down. When you started talking about him as the next Florida guy, I'm like, no, I'm not hiring Eli Drinkwitz. And then the more I thought about it, I guess it's just because he's the Missouri guy.
Yeah.
Because the more I thought about it, you're probably right.
And Florida was a 4th and 17 away from beating him in his own house.
Yeah,
but to Missouri's credit, they got it.
Yeah, so he certainly came to mind.
If he got the Florida job, would he bring his lightsaber with him for the press conference?
Dave Clawson from Wake Forest I've got on the list. I think Jonathan Smith from Michigan State's a real riser. He really did great stuff at Oregon State. They seem to really like him. I think Heupel does belong in this list. But here's what's interesting. There's not a litany of guys. For me, Jeff Brom is kind of where Lane Kiffin is. Mm-hmm. He's I'd hire him in a minute, either one of them.
Right.
But they're off the up and coming list. They're more established than up and coming. Jonathan Smith is not, so I think he's on that list. So I'd have him off the list. But it's fun. Let's get to the NFL. Who's first on your NFL list? If you were, and by the way, let me be clear about this. This isn't a Jaguar thing. I love the Jaguar coach. But if you are, whether you were the Jaguars or the Packers or the Bucs or anybody else, and you didn't have a coach, and you were looking for the next coach, it was a young and up-and-comer that was going to be here 10 years, where would you go?
Can I go completely outside of your thought process?
Yes, you can do whatever you want.
So I've been reading all about how maniacal Tom Brady is being about this broadcast career. I would seriously consider Tom Brady as a coach in the NFL.
I do wonder this. I do wonder if the Bradys and the people like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are too good to coach. Now stay with me on that. But all they can, their legacy can only go one way. It can't rise at all. Now there's other reasons to do it. You may just want to coach, but you know what I mean. There's nothing Tom Brady could do as a coach other than go down, right? Nothing he could do. Nothing Peyton Manning could do other than go down. But if they, to your point, Lauren, if they chose to do it, that'd be unbelievable. I just don't. Are some people too big to coach? It feels like that to me.
Brady feels that way. He'd also have to coach the Raiders because he's about to be an owner.
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't, that would sort of limit his ability to coach anywhere else. But
to Lauren's point, if he wasn't going to be an owner,
I mean, obviously he's a brilliant guy. I mean, it makes a lot of sense without the ownership component. I think in looking at it, you got to look at Slowick and what he did in Houston. If it doesn't work out this year for the Jaguars and Houston wins 12 games and C.J. Stroud is as good as he was as a rookie or better, I think you got to start there just because it's not the head coach that's making that happen.
Right.
Ryans is a defensive guy, so to me he would stand out. I'm back on the Joe Brady fan club. This is
I hope so.
2.0.
All the dollars you invested in it, I hope you can recoup some of them.
Yep. So we're just rearranging the T-shirts a little bit.
Okay, good.
But I think Joe Brady did really magnificent job stepping in for Ken Dorsey. In Buffalo.
So you're looking at assistant guy.
I think so. I mean, in the NFL, it's. I mean, are there? That's sort of where my mind went. That carousel.
Because the head coach wouldn't be available.
They'd have to be fired. If Mike McDaniel got fired for the Dolphins, he'd probably fit your list.
But that's where I went with my list. My list was head coaches that I think are the next big thing. The head coaches, and that's I probably didn't define it very well. My list would be this. Kyle Shanahan would be 1. Mike McDaniel would be 2. Boy, I think DeMeco Ryans might be 3. And these are young guys that just getting started. I guess Kyle Shanahan's not getting started.
I don't know if I could put Shanahan on the
you're
list.
right.
He's
you're
been
right.
to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, he's a young guy.
Yeah,
but
you're right. You're right. Yeah, and again, anytime you do one of these, who knows who qualifies? But I mean,
DeMeco Ryans, absolutely. Steichen would have to be on it.
Steichen, I want to see a little bit more of, but maybe. But Zach Taylor, LaFleur, McDaniel, Shanahan, D'Amico Ryans. That's kind of my list.
Sean McVay's young, but he's already won a Super Bowl.
You know
so
what?
I don't know how
and
you
you're right.
Shanahan.
But you're right. How do I put Shanahan on the list and not McVay? You're right. But I think that's the next group. I guess that's where I'm going with this. I think in college, if the next group is Norvell and DeBoer and Drinkwitz and Clausen or maybe Jed Fish, if that's the next group in college, I think the next group in the NFL for me is Shanahan, McDaniel, D'Amico Ryan, Zach Taylor, Matt LaFleur. And by the way, to be clear, maybe Shanahan I would. But there's not many of those guys I would trade Doug Peterson for. Okay, there's not many. I think Doug Peterson's really good. But if you didn't have a Doug Peterson, this is the list I would be. It's going to be I'll be very interested to look at 5 years where these guys are. How many? Some of them's getting fired because someone gets fired in the NFL. If I told you Shanahan, McDaniel, D'Amico Ryans, Matt LaFleur, and Zach Taylor, if I told you one of those guys are getting fired, you'd be, no, they're not. They're all going to do well. But one of them's going to get fired.
I can see Zach Taylor getting fired.
Yeah. If you're right. Because if Burrow doesn't stay healthy, they're just a team. They're just another team. So, but you know what I mean. My point is, someone on this list is getting fired.
Yeah.
It's just, but I think there's an interesting, good, and I think an entertaining crop of young coaches in the league. I guess that's kind of where I'm going with.
Yeah, I would agree. And again, the carousel was really surprising this year in terms of guys
there's more of this
didn't get a job, and
right.
so the 25 carousel is going to be incredibly deep. Hopefully, the Jaguars won't have to wade into those waters, but they could, and at least if they have to, it looks like it sets up pretty well.
And there's a lot of the young guys, the Mike McDonald's, Canales, young guys that got jobs that we have lumped in with the Bobby Slowicks of the world who didn't, but they're all lumped in there together. The Gerard Mayos and the young guys that who knows how they will do. But the guys I've went through right here have been it's a pretty established group. Is it a different kind of coach that used to get the jobs? That's the question. Or do we have a different kind of coach getting jobs now than got jobs in the past? Is it the same? It's a mix of offense and defense. It's not a mix of young and old anymore. I mean, the established guy didn't get much of a look this year, did he?
No.
I mean Dan Quinn, but that's the closest to it.
Yeah.
Harbaugh.
So, Harbaugh, who's the ultimate established guy. You're right.
But I do feel like coaches used to get recycled more than they do now.
Yeah, there's not much. You know who really did that? And jump in here, RJ. The NBA never recycles anymore, do they? I mean, I know Doc Rivers just got hired, but for the most part, I got to tell you, RJ, it seems to me the NBA for a while there hiring a bunch of ex-players that we didn't know very well. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, it's now a bunch of ex-players, and also I think the young, up-and-coming guys that come off of particular NBA coaches' trees, like you'll see a lot of guys off the Popovich tree, so on and so forth. But, yeah, now it's a lot of ex-players that can really understand where, certain NBA players of this era are coming from.
Yeah, I think an awful lot of stuff. So I think that's kind of where the coaching things are. Interesting stuff, so we'll see. Young coaches in the world of sports. Let's take a break. When we come back, we got a Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week coming up. That's a young man who's going to meet us right out here at the Bregan Baseball Complex. We'll do that. We'll tell you what's going on in the baseball and talk about a whole lot more, including Richie Leonard's comments, which I think are of some significance. All that coming up. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
A new NASCAR season starts Sunday with the biggest race of them all.
And there's nobody that's better than Daytona.
The Daytona 500, brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Credit for everyone. 500 vehicles in one location, 30-day exchange program. If you want it all, get it all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Right now, just $500 down and only $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. Plus, Arlington's Credit for Everyone program and 30-day exchange program. Save thousands and shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Exciting news from All Pro Roofing. Effective right now, you can get an instant roof quote. Just click the Instant Roof Quote tab on their website. Whether you're in need of roofing, exterior siding, or windows, All Pro Roofing is your local partner for quality craftsmanship. Click the Instant Roof tab and voila! Get an instant quote. It's that simple. Click on the Instant Roof Quote tab today at allproroofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CBC 060138.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Meet Dave Carvelis.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rolling.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Dave Matthews Band Live, May 28th and 29th, Daly's Place.
He wakes up in the morning.
Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday, February 15th at 10 p.m. before the general public Friday, February 16th at 10 a.m. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Don't miss Dave Matthews Band Live.
Mike Dempsey for Tire Outlet. Is your vehicle in need of some TLC? Bring it to the experts at Tire Outlet. With over 40 years of experience and 15 locations across Florida, Tire Outlet is the brand you can trust. Our certified technicians do the job right to get you in and out in no time flat. Hurry in for great deals on tires and auto services. We offer free tire rotations, free brake inspections, rebate offers on brand name tires, and a legendary price match guarantee on every set of brand new tires. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
Dave Binion here with my son Ammon, who is the air duct cleaning manager at Zero Res. So Ammon, you may notice a little rattle in my voice and some puffiness in my eyes. That's because allergy season is coming on. Can Zero Res help?
Yes, your health has a lot to do with the air you breathe. A clean and healthy home begins with clean air. At Zero Res, we can help clean the air in your home by cleaning your air ducts, cleaning the coils in your HVAC units, and fogging the system with a powerful antimicrobial that helps kill and control the growth of microorganisms in your air. We also have options for maintaining your clean air with our excellent inline air purifier and UV lights that will help keep your system clean and healthy. At Zero Res, we are more than just air duct cleaners. We're a clean air specialist.
So, what deals do you have this month?
Right now, get $100 off your air duct cleaning, and while we're at it, we'll give you $50 off your dryer vent cleaning.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
It is time for our Duval County Scholar Athlete live here at the Brigham Baseball Complex as we welcome in Andrew Morello, senior at Wolf's. And Andrew, thanks so much for joining us and congratulations.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Absolutely. So you started off your high school career playing soccer and golf and then also cross-country track and field. You kind of finished more focused on cross-country track and field. How much do you love running?
It's really awesome. I think after my freshman track season, the coach, he got me excited about running and actually wanting to show up to practice every day, unlike some of the other kids on the team. But in that first cross-country season, I kind of just started to break through already, and that's where I really found my passion, I'd say, right there.
Nice.
And how much training is there? By the way, Andrew lives around the corner from me,
Okay.
so I walk by Andrew's house. Andrew runs. I walk by Andrew's house. How much training goes on? How much do you run? How many miles a week? Or how do you measure that?
So we are actually one of the lower mileage schools. I know Bowles, they run a lot more miles. I'm right around 30 miles a week right now, and that's just – we really believe in fresh legs on race day, and if we keep it low throughout the week, that really helps us to stay fresh and race the best.
So what does that mean for someone that's not a runner, 30 miles a week? How often do you do it? What time of day? The whole bit?
So usually 6 days a week running, one day just straight recovery.
Okay.
Wolfson practices in the afternoon after school at 3:30, and we do one workout Wednesday morning at 5:30, and usually Saturday or Sunday for our long runs in the morning too, so we can beat the heat.
Oh, very cool.
Andrew finished sixth at the state championship meet. What kind of doors did that open up for you from a recruiting standpoint?
So right after that state championship meet, Coach Tony, he was at the meet in Tallahassee, and we had a good probably 15-minute conversation just talking about what it looks like to run in college, what differences it would be from high school to college, and that kind of opened the door because right after that meet we started to talk, and that's when we planned our visit over winter break and saw the facilities, and I'd say that it was pretty awesome.
And you've got your decision now. You'll be attending
University of South Florida next fall.
That's awesome.
And you've been down there, so you've gotten to visit.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
You love it. That's awesome. All right, so how fast is your fastest 5K in cross country, and how fast is your fastest mile?
So cross country this past season, I was battling some plantar fasciitis in my right foot, which took me out a couple weeks. But I finished at the state meet 16:05, but my personal best is 15:54.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
And then for the mile,
that's fast.
Last
track season at the state championship, I ran 4:22 for the mile. But this indoor season in Gainesville I've already ran 4:20, which qualified me for the New Balance National meet up in Boston. So we're excited to run even faster.
You run at USF?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about their program, their cross-country program, the whole bit.
So there are 10 guys on the cross-country roster, and they're just picked from the track and field guys to say, hey, come run cross-country with us. And they're on the up and up. They usually weren't good. They just fired their old assistant coach, and the new one they brought in from Austin P., his first year there. He's done a great job so far. Ton of guys this track season and cross-country season. They had 2 guys that they sent to the NCAA regional meet in Gainesville, and they're already setting a ton of PRs throughout indoor season at USF.
Cool. Do you have a sense of what you might want to study when you get to USF?
I think right now, obviously the first couple years are just your general classes, but I think business right now, that kind of route, and maybe accountant or actuary, something along those lines, hopefully.
Those are all great fields.
Yes, ma'am.
So outside of running, outside of studying, what do you do for fun?
So in Wilson, I'm a lot of community service. I'm in National Honor Society, student ambassadors, our Rotary Interact Club. But outside of all the community service, I'm at the beach a lot.
Okay.
And if not, I'm usually sleeping. I need
you run that much, you got to sleep.
I need all the recovery I can get.
All right. Well, congratulations, Andrew. I'll be the guy walking by your house probably tomorrow, so you'll see
Yes,
me.
sir.
But congratulations for being our Duval County Scholar Athlete. Good luck at USF.
Thank you for having me. Yes,
all
sir.
right. Andrew Morello from Wolfson High School, terrific runner, cross country, and really good grades here. Great ACT, great GPA, and it's great having Andrew come by here. And again, I walk right by that's my big loop. Right
so
in front
he
of
laps you, I'm guessing.
He probably laps me as I walk by. That's exactly right.
He laps a lot of people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's great having Andrew
I can't run a mile in double the time he runs the mile. Like right now at my age and the lack of running that I do, I bet the fastest mile I would get is like 9 minutes, and he's running it in 4:20.
Were you ever a runner? Did you ever like even?
I mean, I as a little as a kid, but not a ton. It was all more to help with other sports.
Yeah,
I never really locked in on it. I always liked distance running, but I never did it like in an organized competition.
You ran some, right?
I only ran, like Hays, I only ran for swimming and for soccer when I had to.
Did you run some river runs? Or?
I've done that, but that's more like jogging. That's not running.
That's
like
not running.
What Andrew does is running. What I've always done is jogging.
I was kind of asking about jogging, too. I was kind of asking about both.
To me, it's different. I've never once run for, trying to get a certain speed for anything like that, other than when I was training for soccer. Like, we had to run a mile in under 6 minutes or under 7 minutes, one of those when I was in high school.
I freaking hate it. I loathe it. When I tried to walk on at Florida, back then pitchers ran distance, man. You ran poles, and you ran and ran and ran. The old theory was pitchers can't run enough. You got to run. You got to run legs and endurance and run and run. So I ran 3 miles a day trying to walk when I was going to walk on, and I can tell you, and I did this about a month and a half. I hated every step. I hated every mile. I hated every foot. I hated every yard. I never ever like. I admire people to do it. I admire runners.
But it's easy. It's way easier for some people. Like for Andrew, it's way easier. And for some people, they can go out and they can run without training whatsoever, and it's not that difficult. And then there's the rest of us where the breathing is labored. I get like cramps in my side. I get the stitches and everything. It's miserable.
Yeah, and I've never liked it. I've always hated running. I still hate running. So, congratulations to Andrew. Though. What a great 32 in the ACT.
That's a great get for USF.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really is. I mean, 32 in the is really, really good.
Really well spoken too.
Really smart guy. He really is. So good to have Andrew Morello here. All right, lots of things we're going to get to. I'm going to get to the Richie Leonard comments coming up a little bit later on in the program. Patrick Mahomes, all the rage. What's Patrick Mahomes' offseason? Does he do?
I think he just gets better.
Yeah.
I think he does more commercial filming.
But does he do Saturday Night Live?
If he wants.
Well, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, does he?
He doesn't strike me as the guy who wants to do that because everyone kind of makes fun of his voice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of a Kelsey role.
And he's not. Well, no, he's already done it. Yeah.
Correct. He seeks out that kind of attention.
You're right, and they are so different in that. But he's in every commercial. Yeah. I just wonder. It almost seems like, in a weird sort of way, the torch has really been passed from Brady to him. Not that it wasn't before, but it I don't know. This feels like it's been passed even more clearly. Do you feel that way?
I think he's better. I mean, I'm just going to say it. I think if I had to pick, I've seen Tom Brady's entire career, and I've seen the first probably third of Patrick Mahomes's. If I was in a time warp and put back in time and they were both in the same draft, I would take Mahomes over Brady.
Mahomes has certainly better arm talent than Tom Brady ever did. There's obviously different styles of quarterback, but I'm with Hays. I mean, what Mahomes can do, Brady might have done it differently. He might have won that game differently. But Brady couldn't have scrambled and run for 44 yards and picked up those key fourth downs. That wasn't his style of game, and it wasn't what he was good at. Mahomes can do that. He can do the no-look passes. He can do it all.
Yeah, to me, the answer to that, I wouldn't take Patrick Mahomes over Tom Brady. But I would take Patrick Mahomes over Tom Brady to play football in 2024 because the game's changed. The way the game's become more horizontal. The field is spread more now. So the quarterback's got to be athletic. The quarterback's got to be able to run a little bit. You couldn't, even though Tom Brady in this era won a Super Bowl, you couldn't consistently win. I think you're going to see fewer and fewer quarterbacks who can't move. I almost none. I mean, I'm trying to think, is there any quarterback of significance? Now, Kirk Cousins, I guess, because he's older. But
look at this draft.
Yeah.
They can pretty much all move.
They can all move.
Because I think even J.J. McCarthy can move some.
He
wasn't
can
asked to do it as much.
Right, that's
but
right.
I don't think he's going to test poor.
But I mean, even Brock Purdy, who we started watching closely, looked like the game manager, which he's probably tired of hearing, and a drop back quarterback. But he got them to the Super Bowl with some runs of significance against Detroit. I mean, he ran his way into some big plays there for Detroit.
Absolutely. There's been so many times that I've thought that's what Trevor Lawrence needs to do.
Yeah. So no question. And but Trevor can run. Trevor's athletic.
Certainly can.
So I wouldn't take Mahomes. I would not take Mahomes over Tom Brady. I don't believe that. But I would tell you that I think the torch has been passed as for today. I do think as today's guy goes, that torch has been passed. And I just wonder, we're going to see him in movie cameos? Are we going to see him in more commercials? Is he going to host Saturday Night Live? Is he going to pop up on Fallon? I find myself wondering where we're headed with that.
There certainly could be all of that. I think what's really scary is I think the Chiefs are going to be profoundly motivated for the three-peat opportunity to do something that no team has ever done in NFL history. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of complacency.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Richie Leonard had some comments, that and a whole lot more coming up. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
He's 1010XL's best offensive lineman. Whoa! Sorry, 71.
For real?
Leon Searcy.
He's just getting his game back.
Noon to 1:30 weekdays.
Tell me they got that in slow motion.
On 1010XL.
Well, hello there. Join me at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino to celebrate a new era in gaming with live craps, roulette, and sports betting now available to go along with the biggest selection of slots in South Florida. Plus, all your other favorite table games. Complement your night with my award-winning fine dining and casual fare options, lively bars and lounges, or catch your favorite A-list entertainer at Hard Rock Live. Discover your rhythm today. Go to hardrockholly.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
Score big with your sweetheart with specials at Southern Steer Butcher. Valentine's Day special listed on our website. Pre-order now for Valentine's Day. SouthernSteerButcher.com.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Prime Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out the 2024 Hills Pass at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Unlimited golf, including golf car and preferred tee times for just one low price. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to purchase your Hills Pass today.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
My name is Brian. I've lost 42 pounds on Awaken 180. I had a triple bypass in 2018. I had a hip replacement 2.5 years ago. My focus was just getting healthy and being consistent. With this plan, once you establish yourself, if I decide to cheat, I can cheat. I'm burning enough calories a day. I don't have any fear. It's not really a diet. It's a lifestyle change. It changed my perspective on how to eat better and just kind of control yourself. And I hope what this does, I hope it enables somebody in their 60s that has poor health and no hope, that gives them hope. That's my goal.
Wow. Thank you so much, Brian. Hey, this is Matt Hays, and Brian sharing his Awaken 180 story is the exact reason I continue to share my story with all of you. There's hope, there's a plan, and you will succeed with Awaken 180. Online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Attention veterans, if you have a VA loan, you need to listen to this, especially if your current rate is higher than 6.5%. Now is the time to take advantage of the federal government's VA Streamlined Refinance Program. With my friends at Loan Pronto, you can. Go to loanpronto.com. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto has fixed rate APRs in the 5s. You can drop your rate now. Lower your payment with no income documentation and no appraisal. Do it at loanpronto.com. Their all-digital platform makes it easy. They can even cover your closing costs. If you need cash now, Loan Pronto can get you up to 100% of your home value. You can pay off all your credit cards or other debt and save as much as $1,000 a month. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508 or get a 30-second rate quote at loanpronto.com. Ask about streamlined VA loans, no income doc, and no appraisal. Loan Pronto, 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, let's talk about diamond cutting. How is a diamond price affected by the way it is cut?
Frank, that's probably the most important question asked about diamonds, because the trade-off between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one that's not is the diamond's carat weight. You see, diamond cutters buy rough diamonds based on quality and weight. So as they cut the rough diamond, everything cut away affects profits. However, there's specific known cutting parameters, and each deviation from these means they have a heavier, less beautiful diamond. Unfortunately, a customer can't detect all those cutting imperfections. They need expert help about a diamond's cut grade. You see, for any round diamond of a particular color, clarity, and carat weight, there are as many as 10 different prices that can vary by as much as 50%. At Underwoods, we look specifically at how a diamond's cut before we look at anything else, because it's the most important factor when it comes to a diamond's beauty, and to us, whether it should carry the Underwood name or not.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union was a guest this morning of Jaguars Today and shared what he thinks will happen with Jaguars left tackle Cam Robinson.
To me, it makes sense for him to be back, but he's not going to be back at that number. I can't believe it. So to me, I think that he's more likely going to be released and maybe reevaluated after that than maybe a contract extension or whatever they could do to sort of get that number down. But to me, if I had to guess right now, I don't think he will be there.
Demetrius Harvey from the Florida Times-Union this morning with Jaguars Today on the future of Cam Robinson. It's right now 63 degrees at 4 o'clock. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We do thank our friends from the Nimnick family of dealerships. Nimnick Chevrolet is on Cass. It has been for the longest time. Bought my first car there in 1982. Been buying them there ever since. I promise you that. Nimnick Buick GMC is located on Phillips Highway. They do a fantastic, fantastic job. Right now, the baseball and softball stuff is going on. Mandarin versus Bishop Snyder on the softball side. Sandalwood versus Trinity on the baseball side. I tell you what, I'll watch this Trinity team. Just watch them take infield and watch them out there. That looks like a really good team. I don't know who's good yet and who's not, but I'm just telling you that some teams have that look about them. You know, you just see teams look that way. They get off the airport team, boy, they look the part of it. And the sun came out, Lauren. Were you in charge of this?
I'm in charge of all weather, apparently. So yes.
Yes, you are in charge of it.
Thanks. I did warn you that it was going to rain last night.
Hey, she used to be the chief meteorologist. She's now the veteran chief meteorologist, okay?
She has a Doppler that nobody can match.
No question.
Once you're a veteran in the NFL, you get to make the veteran minimum. Does my salary go up now that I'm a veteran chief meteorologist?
You got some pension points.
I told you my veteran story. I remember I was a little kid. I remember how old I was. I don't know why I remember this, but my dad was watching the Colts because that's who we always watched because Unitas was playing, and they were talking about Lenny Moore, and they said veteran running back Lenny Moore. And I asked my mom, and my dad's sitting there watching TV, and my mom, I said, Mom, what's veteran mean? And my mom goes, that means he defended the country. He fought for us. I said, okay. And my dad goes, he's just sitting there. My dad goes, Rose, that's not what it means. My sweet little mom didn't know.
Yeah. You know, she was right.
She thought Lenny Moore had defended the country. Rose, that's not what it means. Well, yes, some things you remember.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I had to be 5, 6, you know.
Yeah.
Rose, that's not what it means.
I do have a question for you because I never watched Johnny Unitas play.
Yeah.
How does Patrick Mahomes compare?
Well, the game's different now. Nobody was athletic like that. But what Unitas did, he did stuff nobody did. He threw to spots. He threw down and outs to spots. He did stuff nobody else had ever done before. So it was different. What he did was the way he put nobody dropped back and threw the ball the way he did. People they'd watch him just like the no look passes that Mahomes makes now. He does stuff that nobody else did. Well, Unitas would drop back and throw the spot. He'd throw the spot. Raymond Berry would run it down and out, and Unitas would throw it before he cut. Well, back then that was groundbreaking stuff. You know, so and I don't know how many titles he won, but he was winning titles in the 50s, right? I mean, Johnny Unitas won they call it the greatest game ever played. What was that, 58, right? Something like that. Was against the Giants, right? The Allen Amici game.
Yeah.
And then he won a Super Bowl in 71. So think about that. This guy was the NFL championship in 58, I think it was. And then was the Super Bowl winning quarterback in 71 once they started having Super Bowls. So he played for him. My dad loved him from Johnny Unitas. As I told you guys many, many times. We took a trip to Miami to watch the Colts play, knowing Unitas was hurt. But by God, we were going to go watch the Colts play either way. Florida LSU basketball tonight, Hayes. The Gators get to 17-7, 7-4. They got votes this week in the AP poll. If they win tonight, I'm assuming they're going to. If they win tonight, are they ranked? Are they relevant? Where do they stand in the court of public opinion? And where do they stand in the net and all that?
I think they have a good chance if they take care of business this week against LSU and then go to Athens and beat Georgia this weekend. Then, yeah, when the poll comes out next week, I think they've got a great chance because obviously you're going to have a lot of teams losing over the next week. So, and they're both games that really Florida should win. Certainly tonight, you feel really good about it. LSU's 1-5 on the road. Again, they've lost 5 of 6 coming in. Defensively, they just seem lost. And if you're lost defensively, it's unlikely you're going to find your mojo against Florida's offense, which we've talked about. It's been top 10 in scoring offense all year, and is coming off an incredibly impressive effort against Auburn. So I think Florida just is able to come at you in so many different ways. Pullen and Clayton are so consistent. Chances are either Kugel or Richard will play well tonight, and then they're going to get something out of Samuel and Logden and Condon. So it's a difficult team to handle because they don't need all those guys to play well. If 3 or 4 of them play well, that's going to be enough. And I think for LSU, you're starting to reach the point of the season where for some of these teams, they're kind of circling the drain a little bit. LSU falls into that category. Georgia falls into that category. Now, it's not to say they can't get up for a certain game and play at a higher level, but they're really not playing for anything now. They've long since lost their ability to get into the tournament as an at-large, so their only avenue is going to be to win the SEC tournament. So, again, LSU, Georgia, you're really not playing for anything now because you know you've got no chance to get into the tournament. So, how big of a role is playing spoiler? How big of a motivating factor is that? I think it's worn off with each passing year. It seems like I think this generation probably doesn't get as wrapped up in spoiling someone else's party as we've seen. So I would anticipate Florida on cruise control for a lot of this game tonight. I would expect them to shoot a very healthy percentage. They're protecting the ball really well, so I would expect to see a very healthy assist-to-turnover margin, and I would expect them to win the rebounding battle. So, again, LSU can score. They've got some talent, but they're so disjointed defensively that I think Florida flirts with getting to 100 tonight and a 14-point win.
I think this is a really important game as far as Todd Golden's mastery of his team. Managing their emotions with such the quick turnaround. And, yeah, I mean, he obviously knows Riley Kugel just had a monster game. So does he get more playing time than he normally would? How does he manage his bench? I think he's done a great job to this point in the season. And Will Baker is really talented for LSU. He's one of their forwards, 7 feet tall, 245 pounds. Florida has to be able to contain him, and then I think they'll be fine.
First thing you said, that's right. You have to learn how to handle success. And a team that hasn't had it, at least collectively, and Florida hasn't had this kind of success in a while now. Zion Pullen had it at Riverside, and Clayton had it at Iona. But I mean, they haven't had it collectively like this. This is, and together, look, none of these guys have played for a Power 5 until this year, so this is kind of, I guess Seton Hall's a Power 6 in the Big East, but I mean, they haven't played like this. So now they have this collective success. But can you handle it? Can you handle success? Can you be ready to play every game? I will say this. Coaches say it all the time, and I know it sounds like coach speak, but I think there's something to it. There's a fine line, man, between if you're not as ready to play because you take it for granted and you just assume you're going to win. If that happens, you know what? I'm telling you, if that's the case, you lose. Nobody believes that. Every time teams lose and every time a team gets upset and someone says, how can you not be up? Well, sometimes you're not up. And I mean, that's a very real thing in sports, and it's a very real thing in college sports.
Look at Kansas last night. They got romped by Texas Tech.
Perfect example. And so if you're not ready, you lose. And so Lauren made a good point, Hays. Let's see I don't doubt that Todd Golden is a good enough coach to manage that, but I do wonder if he's gotten through to this group yet because they haven't had to do it yet. That's a big part of this.
It is a big part of it. I think that they've got a lot to play for, and so I think that should keep their eye on the prize. Florida's in a situation now where you can start looking at the SEC standings and how far can they make that climb up, because I think 6-2 in their final 8 is very realistic with the remaining road, and they're in a 3-way tie for 5th right now at 6-4. Well, if you can get into that top 4, which I think is attainable for Florida, you get the double bye in the SEC tournament. You're not playing until the quarterfinals on Friday. Huge advantage there for making a run at the SEC tournament. And also, you're starting to now see Florida on that 8-9 level in most of the projections. So they've done a great job. They've gone from out to now they're in, but they're one of the last teams in, to now they're solidly in, but you're in that 8-9 game, which is obviously a tough place to be. I think they can get to the 6 line, and that should be the goal for this team. Get the double bye in the SEC tournament, be one of the top 4 seeds there, and then be a top 6 seed in your NCAA regional. It gives you the 11 early, which could be an 11 playing off of a play-in game, and then you get the 3 seed in all likelihood in the second round game And again, the 3 seed, that's going to be a good team, but it's not going to be one of the real elite teams of the regular season. So I think if you're Todd Golden, you start having those conversations about guys. You know, I mean, we have found ourselves, we're starting to really gel. But, I mean, they could hit the accelerator on this thing and have a really special year. I mean, they could come in at, 12 wins in SEC play.
I agree with that. I'm saying I'm ready to predict that, but they have found something. You saw it Saturday, Lauren. They found something. I know it was one game, and again, I'll defend Auburn again in this. They had a massive emotional win over their arch rival on Wednesday. They had to play a team that had a week off, and to your point yesterday, was a little bit chippy. They on the road. They were really going to, in a place they haven't won in forever. All the odds were stacked against them. So I get that.
And they started off so slow.
Yeah,
I think that was
right.
the final crushing blow to everything you said. It could have been 11-0 if Tyree Samuel makes those 2 free throws.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact from Florida's standpoint that they walloped them. You know,
Absolutely.
so now Florida.
So much confidence.
Brom was 1 of 8 at the foul line. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a player, particularly a talented one.
Yeah.
You know, Auburn. I mean, it just speaks to. I do think Auburn didn't really show up for the game.
Yeah.
I think Auburn's still really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's going to happen. And but again, it's up to Florida tonight to refine their focus and, you know, like you said, put LSU away early. Florida should be very capable of doing that.
Yeah, it's going to be a super loud environment as we've come to expect. Yeah, what did you think about the taunting, Janai Broom with the taunting in the first half?
You know what? That doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Players are players. They're going to talk and stare.
Because it was funny to then Micah handlocked and kind of give it back to him a little bit later.
Unless you're really egregious, I think today's athletes should have fun. What do you think? This stuff doesn't bother me.
Well, first off, nothing is as terrifying as Micah hand-logging.
Yeah.
I mean, from a interior presence in the paint and just his look. I mean, he just looks like a mean guy. And so, but I mean, to his credit, he's playing really tough.
He's finally playing well.
Yeah, he is.
It took a while.
It looked like he kind of maybe got hurt late in the game, and that was a concern. But obviously, he's fine. He's going to be ready to go tonight. And again, settling in to what is your role on the team. That was what Billy Donovan was always so masterful about, is communicating to every player 1 through 8, this is your role, and getting the player to buy into that. Todd Golden had a really difficult challenge with Riley Kugel. It was a struggle, I think, early on this season. But he commended Riley Kugel yesterday when he met with reporters about he is figuring out that, you know, we consider Riley a starter, but somebody's got to be the 6th man. And there's been a litany of great players in this sport that have been 6 men. And it took Riley some time to come to grips with that. Now, I think it helps that Pullen and Clayton are having the kind of years they're having. Because Riley Kugel now, I think, looks at it and went from a standpoint of, well, I'm the star. Why am I now not starting to, you know what? These 2 guys are really good. And there's room for all of us to be successful here. And Kugel is going to be a real key for Florida down the stretch if they're really going to surprise us and do some things that would be spectacular considering what the preseason buzz was for the club. But I think that's what they've got. I mean, Logden understands his role. Samuel, Pullen, Clayton. I mentioned Houck yesterday. I mean, they just 1 through 8, Condon. They just play together really well for a team that obviously is constructed sort of on the fly in one off season with basically everybody coming in from a different destination.
Well, and to start the season, too, you didn't have Zion Pullen for the first 6 games. So you've got Riley Kugel starting, and you've got Clayton, and so they learned how to play together. And then all of a sudden, once Pullen got there, then Kugel has to take the seat and not start. And so, yeah, he had to shift a lot of things around.
Let's keep it on college basketball for a second. You've pointed out a number of times that Florida State's got to win a tournament to get in. They're way low on the net. I think you read through it.
Yeah, they're like 96th.
Are we really going to have a tournament? A 68-team NCAA field with 3 ACC teams in?
Well, the Lunardi has 4 in. So, but I think Virginia is.
Wake, I think, is one of the first 4 out.
Yeah, I think Virginia is in. It's Virginia, Clemson, and then obviously the 2 heavyweights, Duke and North Carolina.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it could be 4, and maybe it does become 3, depending on how it shakes out. Because to Lauren's point, a couple of those are are fringe teams. Like, Clemson's record isn't that great. If
They're
they continue,
6-6 in the league.
Yeah, if they continue to slide, it's going to be hard to justify a spot for them.
They're 6-6 in the league.
Yeah.
Virginia's 10-3 in the league and 19-5 overall. I'm surprised their net's so low if they're that.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
And they've got the win over Florida, which that's a quad 1 win for them.
Yeah, it is.
That is surprising with Virginia.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're finding their form, so they'll probably be solidly in.
Wake's
by the
out,
time.
Lauren?
In Lenardi's most recent bracketology, he has Wake Forest as the first 4 out, along with Gonzaga, Seton Hall, Cincinnati. Are we going to have a 60-18 tournament without Gonzaga?
I thought the same thing as Gonzaga.
I'm surprised that's the projection, because their net's I think their net's low 30s. They just won at Kentucky.
Right.
So I can't imagine
you wouldn't think, right?
that they're not going to be in.
Yeah, you wouldn't think.
It obviously changes a lot, because Florida used to be out, and now Florida's the 8th seed. Clemson, by the way, is a 6th seed in this Joe Lenardi bracketology.
So in that vein, is the Leonard Hamilton run over?
It seems like it.
Because he had some really good years of late,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and he just got, Bob Miller last year, and that was a massive recruiting win. So, I'm certainly not writing him off, but if you're asking me if we're ever going to see Leonard Hamilton back in a Sweet 16, I'm going to go with no.
Yeah, I mean, they have not been in a tournament now since 2021, but they were pretty good that year. So since then, they lost in the regional semi. They haven't. They have been to one tournament since 2019. They've only made the field once. Remember, they forever they didn't make a field under him. Then they went. So what do you do? If you're Florida State, do you say, Leonard, it's time to move on? Because, again, he wasn't fired all those times you thought he was going to be. Then he had a terrific run. I think we all agreed that if they had not lost the NCAA tournament that year, they would have been a big play. Who knows if they'd have won it? But they'd have been right in the mix. They might have won the whole thing. What happens with Leonard? He's, 73?
Yeah, I would think you would try to encourage him to retire. But go restart your program.
Last year they were 9-23.
He's 75, by the way.
He's 75. Okay, so last year they were young looking 75. He's still 75. 9-23, 7-13 in the league. This year and the year before that, Hays 17-14, 10-10 in the league. So now 13-10, 7-5. They've been pedestrian for a few years now. Again, you know how I feel about this stuff. I like it when people don't fire their coaches. That's just how I feel. But I wonder if you're FSU now, football is in a good place. Baseball, I know they weren't very good last year, but I think they got a really good guy coaching them in baseball. That's my opinion. It makes you wonder, does Michael Alford have to bring in Leonard Hamilton?
That's what I would think, because Alford's been
he's aggressive,
and I think he's done an excellent job.
I do too.
So I would anticipate. The other thing too is with college basketball, the coaching pool is always so deep.
Yeah.
Pretty much any year that
I agree with that.
You have to go find a guy. There's going to be 5 or 6 really intriguing candidates because, obviously you always start with the NCAA tournament. Well, chances are there's going to be 2 or 3 coaches in this tournament that go on a great run, and so that sort of puts them, in everybody's spotlight. And so if it were me, yes, I would encourage him to retire, and if he didn't retire, then I would get hit in the head with a softball.
I was watching it all along. I knew you wouldn't get hit in the head because we had the tent, but maybe in the leg.
Man, that thing went flying, didn't it?
They told us heads up from over there, so it was all good.
My arm, it's broken.
You get flying in the back of Hayes' head. So we have softball to our left. Bishop Snyder battling. Where are we? Where's my list? Bishop Snyder at Mandarin, and then Bishop Kenny and Nice play in the nightcap in the softball side on a sunny day here now. On the baseball side, it is Trinity leading Sandalwood right now, and then First Coast and West Nassau play a little bit later on. We'll take a break. Lauren, you got some tickets to give away?
I do.
I heard they're good ones.
Seriously good tickets.
I heard they're pretty good. Well, I'll tell you what.
I might be the caller to win the tickets.
Lauren might call her thing here. So be listening. Giveaway's coming up. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Now, the Lamb Rant, brought to you by the best bet card rooms of Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine.
We flippantly refer to games as being decided by inches. Well, Super Bowl 58 is the latest, greatest case of just that. I'm talking about the 2 inches of Chiefs linebacker Leo Chenal's right hand that blocked the extra point of Jake Moody. Instead of being up by 4, the 49ers were up 3. A late field goal sent the game into overtime. Chiefs win 25-22. There was little attention paid to Chenal, just another blocked PAT. His name was hardly mentioned. I'm betting you've never heard his name. The 103rd pick in the 2022 draft out of Wisconsin-Madison. That's a shame. Certainly Patrick Mahomes deserved the MVP, and it was okay to gush over Travis Kelce. The Chiefs' defense was deserving of the praise it received, particularly Chris Jones. But if it wasn't for the tips of Chenal's fingers, praise would have centered around Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, and the 49ers defense.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet love our community. That's right, we spread the love by giving back, and every year we give hundreds of thousands of dollars to our local community. Plus, we give all our customers lots of love, too. Every new vehicle purchase comes with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, and every certified pre-owned vehicle comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile loving warranty. Plus, we give the most loving for your trade. Help us to continue to spread the love and head to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you and give back.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
I was on the go, it was time to eat. I said, baby, grab a Danny, cause they can't be beat. She got something else when it was time to choose. And after just one bite, I got that soggy sandwich blue. Should've known better, only Danny will do. Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you. Yeah, she done me wrong. Didn't get my dandy. I need my ham and cheese.
That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted.
Should've known better, only dandy will do. Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you. Yeah.
Is your roof showing signs of wear and tear? Well, don't wait for problems to escalate. Call Universal Roofing Contracting today to schedule your complimentary roof inspection. Right now, get 15% off roof replacement or repairs, plus flexible financing. This offer expires February 29th and restrictions apply. Universal Roofing Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 057165, CVC 1258484. UniversalRoof.com.
Every weekend is a Stone Cold Sports Weekend. Hey, Dan Hicken here. Watch for the Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll help you put together your sports weekend. Weekend with Dan brought to you by Stone Core. We do the outdoors better.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality H2O in your home, call your local water boy, Keith, at Kenai Water Jacksonville. That's Kenai Water Jacksonville.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
Mr. Rooter, Mr. Rooter. Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are 2 of the best life-saving investments for the safety of your family. Mr. Sparky will install the best unit for your home.
Call 888
Nate Sparky.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnicht Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Amarillo by morning, up from San Antonio. Everything that I got is just what I've got on. When that sun is high in that Texas sky, I'll be bucking at the county fair.
All right, well, we told you we had a pair of tickets, very exciting tickets. You just heard the voice of one, George Strait. He is coming to town. Absolutely fantastic song. Real Time Morning. He's coming to town May 11th with Chris Stapleton and Little Big Town to Everbank Stadium. We have a pair of tickets to go see those acts. Huge concert coming to Everbank May 11th. Be caller number 1 right now, 641-1010. Caller number 1. I'm guessing you might have dialed the phone as soon as you heard George Strait's voice, so you are going to be the winner of the ticket, 641-1010.
Did you believe she really actually called her? So did you see her? She had the phone. She had the phone in one hand.
Crafty.
She had the phone in one hand while she was reading the.
People can watch how above board I am. My phone is not in my hands, although I wish. Those are tickets that I would love to have. So if somebody wins and wants to donate them to me, I'm all about that as well.
I'll be at that show. We'll be at that show. I'm very excited. Very, very. You know, I've been to a lot of country shows with my wife, and I was really excited to go to those the Toby Keith shows we went to. Very excited when I saw Garth Brooks a few times. But I can't say I've been excited about a lot of country shows. Most I go for Suzanne because she goes to all my shows. But I'm looking forward to this one. This will be a good. So whoever wants those
it's going to be a lot of fun. And if I end up going, that'll be 2 back-to-back fantastic weekends because Luke Combs comes to Everbank Stadium the weekend before that, along with a host of opening acts, and then. Yeah, Little Big Town, who are so fun to listen to. And then, of course, Chris Stapleton, one of my all-time favorites, and George Strait, the king of country music.
College baseball's right around the corner. You excited about that?
Absolutely.
You're a college baseball fan, right?
I think we're going to go down for the orange and blue game and then go to see Florida baseball play host to South Carolina.
How about that? That's a good day.
It's a good day.
As days go, pretty solid day right there.
I'm telling you
I'm going to go 8 or 9, maybe 9.5 for that day.
Well, yeah, if Florida's football team was better, it'd be a 10. but
well, you can see Lagway.
But absolutely. See Lagway in person, and that Florida ballpark, as you know, Frank, is absolutely gorgeous. So Condren Park, looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, you're a baseball fan, right? College baseball, not as much, but a little bit. No,
not as much. But it's funny. I'm going to the orange and blue game too. So,
nice.
But I don't think we're going to go to the baseball game. But yeah,
heck, I'm going to come too then.
Yeah,
we'll carpool.
Yeah,
I mean, there's that.
Well, we've been the last 2 years because it's been on the Thursday night.
That's right, we have been. That's exactly right.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. And I'm not like you guys. I mean, I wish them well, and I know they're good, but when it's Game 2 of the College World Series, then I usually start paying attention.
If Florida's in it.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah, obviously I love college baseball. I mean, I love baseball, and I love the fact that Florida's good. But I like it. Man, I love watching JU and UNF play. I said, and maybe I'll wind up being the dumbest guy in town because I raved when Link Jarrett was at Notre Dame. I raved and raved and raved about he's one of the best coaches in the country. And there's no doubt in my mind he probably should have gotten the job when Mike Martin stepped down. But I understand why they felt like they had to give it to Mike Martin Jr. I understand the politics of it, and it didn't go well with him. And Link Jarrett got the job, and I told you guys he was getting the job before it was open.
Yeah,
that
was impressive.
And he got the job, and then they weren't very good last year, and everyone said as people will, told me how dumb I was. Won't be the first time. But upon further review, he gutted the team. He inherited a team that didn't fit him, that didn't want to work the way he believed you worked. It's got a bunch of guys that he wouldn't have recruited. And, I mean, he ran them all off, from what I'm told. I mean, hey, he ran them all off. And then, so now he's got another young team, but he's got like this, the Alex Lodi's kid who was such a good shortstop for UNF last year, got in the portal, now he's at FSU. So I'm interested to see how they are. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good coach. And Florida, did you see did you see Sully's extension?
Yeah.
Sully got extended to
like 2078, I think.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah. And why not?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, if you're, with all due respect to if you've gone through McElwain and Muschamp and Mullen and maybe Napier and Mike White thing, even though I liked him more than others, certainly didn't work out. And you got a guy like Sully, because that is the third biggest sport. You know, if you got lock him up till 27, don't you? I mean, that's the right move, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
so next week, this weekend, UNF plays host to Delaware, JU plays host to Cincinnati, Florida plays host to St. John's, and FSU plays host to Butler. Obviously, all the Florida teams are going to be hosting when it comes to baseball season early on, especially the northern teams. But then next Tuesday, UNF plays host to Florida, JU plays host to Florida State. So if you want to see these baseball teams up close and personal in town, you've got Florida at UNF, and you've got FSU at JU, same day, February 20th.
I didn't realize that.
Yep, absolutely.
How about the same day?
Yeah.
Couldn't do it a day apart?
What
the hell?
I'm so sorry.
You could do one on a Tuesday, one on a Wednesday? I did not realize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you'll, like I said, if you're a Florida fan, you get to see them at UNF. Obviously, if you're a UNF fan, you get to see Florida and JU and FSU as well.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, one more segment with Lauren. Richie Leonard plays for the Florida State Seminoles. He previously played for the Florida Gators. He made a comment that it has made its way around Seminole and Gator Nation that I thought was a very telling comment. Sometimes I giggle about stuff that's on Twitter that players say sometimes, but he wasn't trying to trash talk. I thought there was some significance to the comment. We'll tell you what that comment was, and I'll tell you what we think about it after this.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
1010XL.
Who's having a good time?
Duval's Good Timin' Sports Talk Radio.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Have you been dreaming of enhancing your living space with top-quality custom windows and doors? Now is the perfect time to make that dream a reality with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires February 29th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud to be the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
After consulting with several orthopedic specialists about my constant knee pain, I chose Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and Dr. Chris Swanson to handle my surgery. Their professionalism let me know this team was the one for me. The surgery was very successful, and if I ever have a future need, I'll continue to trust Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to take care of me.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This State in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 13th, 1994, in the 44th NBA All-Star Game, the East beats the West 127-118. MVP, Scottie Pippen.
Make someone's heart pop on Valentine's Day. Show your love with a bouquet of chocolate roses, chocolate-covered popcorn, or a box of decadent truffles. Peterbrook is taking pre-orders for chocolate-covered strawberries. So get your order in and get those hearts popping.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Meet Dave Carvelis.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Dave Matthews Band Live, May 28th and 29th, Daly's Place.
He wakes up in the morning.
Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday, February 15th at 10 p.m. before the general public Friday, February 16th at 10 a.m. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Don't miss Dave Matthews Band Live.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Look, it's not often we hear about a weight loss company at that, offering a 1-week trial. Well, Awaken 180 isn't just any company. They feel so strongly in their program that if you aren't 100% satisfied with your results in the first week, you can get a full refund. I'll repeat that a different way. Awaken 180 works. They know it. I know it. Over 21,000 others do too. And Paige and her coaches want to prove it to you. If the results aren't what you expected in your first week, you can stop and get 100% of your money back. Where's the risk? What's the catch? There is none, and it's nothing new. This is the Awaken 180 policy because they know you'll succeed. You know my results. I dropped 5 pounds every week with Awaken 180, and it was easy. Just over a month in total, and all 25 pounds were gone. Matt Hays seeing the same results. Awaken 180 is no risk, but every reward. Reserve your at-home consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnicht Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Welcome back on this Nimnicht Tuesday to the Bregan Baseball Complex. All sorts of fun stuff going on with baseball and softball, and all benefits proceed walk-off charities so every child can play baseball. Can I add and softball to the mission statement?
Yes, absolutely. Well, and people have asked me, do you have a softball initiative? That's why we started this tournament. Well, our main initiative has been teaching kids the sport when they're in the third grade. That's boys and girls. You know, you work every clinic, Lauren, so you know you're here. It's as many girls as it is boys. But when they get older, girls find their way to softball, not baseball. So now that we have older kids that have come through our program, we now have begun to launch softball as well. So it was a baseball charity at first, now it's baseball and softball. And that's why we have both playing out here, and we're thrilled to have them both.
Yes, absolutely. Mandarin versus Bishop Snyder over here playing softball, and then Sandalwood and Trinity Christian over here playing baseball. And by the way, Walk-Off will update the scores on the social, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm sure all the scores will be updated as the week goes along. All right, Richie Leonard talked about two different things when it comes to Florida and his former program now that he's an FSU Seminole. He said that he was very impressed with FSU's discipline when Florida played them. I think he was referring to the fact that an FSU player didn't do anything terrible after he was spat upon, and then also said that his workouts in high school were more difficult than the ones at Florida.
Here was a quote, according to Kurt Weiler. After spending years at Florida, he said FSU's tour of duty, they call it, the tour of duty off-season conditioning program is, quote, on a, quote, whole other level than what he went through at Florida. Now listen, part of that's pandering a little bit, and you're at the new school and you want to make your new people feel good, your new fans, your coaches. Part of that's part of the deal, okay? I get that. But I get the sense that he wasn't trying to trash talk here, that Florida State's just way better at developing their football player, in his mind, at developing their football players than Florida is. And to that end, it sure looks like that on the field. So it really makes me wonder about the offseason training, because Florida did not seem to get any bigger and stronger. That's the one thing of all the things people want to criticize Billy Napier about. I'm not smart enough to know what they're doing, who's got a better bench pressing program, but I am smart enough to watch and see who's got a better football team. And that is a concern that, according to this, that I thought that was alarming. And again, I'm not an overreactor to stuff. You know I'm not, Hays, but that was an alarming comment. Is it that much? And by the way, the real proof, if he becomes a good player, because he wasn't a very good player at Florida. No. Florida liked him. They played him a lot because he was smart. He knew what he was doing. But he was an undersized guard at 6'1", barely 300 pounds.
I was shocked FSU took him.
I was too. And if all of a sudden he becomes a good player, that's telling.
It would be telling. And again, Florida's strength program, it's been insufficient. And I think it was Princely that went to Ole Miss and said, we were doing more running and, distance running and not lifting enough. And it absolutely affected us. So I think Napier's hire of hockey was a bad one. We'll see if it gets any better with the new direction. But it's surprising that I was surprised that Napier whiffed on the strength coach as bad as he did, because being at Clemson and Alabama, you would think that it would have resonated with Billy Napier of, you've got to have a elite strength and conditioning guy that really knows how to prepare a team for the rigors of the SEC, and his guy didn't, that he brought with him. And so we'll see. It's another cause of concern for the Florida football program, because again, there's no reason that the Florida Gators should get pushed around, and they were, and some of that's youth, but again, to hear multiple players transfer out and then talk about how poor the weight training was, it's very reminiscent of when McElwain left, and I don't even remember his guy, but he was a even bigger debacle than the guy Napier brought in. He's
not even in the business anymore.
Yeah, I honestly,
he still lives in Gainesville.
I think Summers. I can't remember what his name was.
I don't either.
But regardless, he was terrible, and there was really no coordinated weight training. And players, the stories that came out after McElwain was fired were that players were going on their own to private gyms to get their training in, because it was so lackluster what the regiment was under McElwain. Well, that was one thing Mullen got right. He brings in Nick Savage. Savage was fantastic. It's a shame that Napier didn't just keep Savage, because I think he would have been way further ahead.
I do too.
But he didn't, and so now it's another area that Florida's got to get better in, and we'll see. But I don't think it's Richie Leonard pandering. I get what you're saying, that does tend to happen. But I think Richie Leonard's being dead serious, because it's what multiple players have said that have left the program this year, that the strength and conditioning program under Billy Napier was a farce.
You thought when you were hiring Napier, you were getting the masterful CEO, excellent recruiter, and good in-game coach as well. Frank, of those things, I think the only thing he's proven so far that he is a good recruiter. He was given all the resources to be this CEO and have the army of staff and all that stuff. And I don't know that there's much to show for it.
Well, and certainly back to the development side, look, watch on the field. Florida State's players are developed. Florida State, number one, they're picking the right guys. That's always first. But look at how good they are when they get there, man. Part of it is you're getting the right guys in the portal, but man, they all fit and they're all. That was an alarming comment to me, and I know it's a different level. I get it. It was the Sun Belt or whatever the league it was, but all those things looked like they were good. He got those things so right at Louisiana. They recruited the right guys, that they played with. They weren't very exotic on offense, but it looked like they had the toughness, that they were physical. They looked like a football team. I got the impression they might not be very fancy on offense at Florida, but they would be tough and they would be physical. And didn't you?
Yeah.
That they would be all the football stuff that the football people talk about because they're football people, because that's what football people do, because maybe you don't understand. We're a football guy. Yeah, right. I thought they'd be good at all that.
Well, and it's surprising because Billy Napier's dad was a high school coach.
And he's under
that's
Saban.
where the weight program means the most.
Right.
Because that's when you're really developing from those ages of 14 through 17, 18. And so, a great high school football program is going to start with a great workout regimen and great strength training because without it, you've got no chance of winning at the high school level. And it's amazing to me, with Billy Napier's dad being a longtime high school football coach, that it wasn't something that Billy Napier knocked out of the park. I mean, the fact that that it's been such a miss for him, it's shocking. But that hadn't been the only thing.
Yeah. No. It's but I just listen. You know me. I'm the don't fire the coach guy. I'm always the don't fire the coach guy. That comment bothered me. I tell you, because listen, they're going to lose. They're going to lose a lot of games this year, and like the point we made last week, anybody with that schedule would lose a lot of games. Would lose some games. It's almost a comically hard schedule. It's comical that you're playing Florida State, Miami, UCF in the same year when you have to play at Texas and Ole Miss and your normal SEC schedule. So it's comical.
Of Schleibaugh's top 25, Florida plays 9 ranked teams.
Not 9. They only play 12 games.
Right.
And so 9 of them are ranked. So
and one of them that isn't is UCF.
Yeah, right.
So I mean,
who's pretty good.
Certainly capable of beating Florida.
Yeah. So it's comical that, but so we'll see. And I've now gone. Here's how I've gone full circle. I now find my expectation being that he will not be the Florida football coach in 25, and I was not there before. I don't know what's changed with me, and I want to be wrong. I'm still rooting for him to make it, but I'm still, I don't know. There's just this vibe of that comment today, the strength coach leaving, which it wasn't his fault, but it happened. I don't know. It's all coming to.
I think the only thing that's going to save Billy Napier is if DJ Lagway is special.
Yeah.
If he is a special player immediately, then even in a supplemental role to Mertz, I think that could be the difference in a couple of wins that he may not have gotten. And if Lagway looks the part and they get to 7 wins, they're probably not moving on from Napier.
And let me
because you're going to lose, obviously, to your point from a couple weeks ago. The day you fire Napier, Lagway enters the portal.
Yeah.
So if you think you have a superstar in DJ Lagway, you're probably going to give Napier a little bit more slack than you would if. But he can't go. I mean, doesn't matter what Lagway. If he goes 5 and 7, he's out.
And let me say this: for everybody that are listening to us right now and are saying, "Well, that's good. I'm glad Frank's finally on the right side. I'm glad Frank finally came around." It's not good if you fire your coach.
No.
That means you're starting all over again. You're bringing in a brand new guy again. Who knows if he's going to be any good? You're not exactly picking between Saban and Dabo when you hire a coach. So Lauren, I think people are thinking, well, good. I'm glad Frank feels the way I do now. Now we'll get that guy out of here. It's not good if you firing Billy Napier will not be a good thing. Even if you want to see a change, that's not good.
The best thing for Florida would be for Billy Napier to go 8-5,
correct,
or better,
correct,
and keep his job.
I think the difference between Florida and Florida State, when we're talking about their programs, is Florida has 2 players invited to the NFL Combine, and Florida State has 12.
Well, isn't that great proof?
Like that's
isn't that great proof? Of
all you need to know about where the 2 programs are right now.
Of today's comment, even Lauren.
But Florida had no seniors,
like
that doesn't to me. You knew they weren't going to have a lot of. I mean, we talked about it when they had senior day. They had like 4 guys participate.
But part of that's Lauren's point is they didn't have any seniors because they didn't get any in the portal because he didn't build it. So that is kind of an indictment.
Princely Uman Mielen could have declared for the draft and instead chose to go somewhere else.
So it's an indictment of sorts. It's not an indictment of this roster, but it's an indictment of him that was the roster. Everybody's got seniors now. Because they go get them. They go get the senior from whatever school. They get him from Albany.
He was convinced he had 5 years.
Correct. And you know what? That's probably right. So we'll see. I I just saw that comment from Richie Leonard, and I'm thinking, my first thought is, I don't know that, don't tell me that on top of everything else, they're also not developing. The one thing I assumed is that he had a great strength program, and if he ever got those freshmen into where they're sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they'd be pretty good.
But, I mean, he has 2 offensive line coaches, and the offensive line was one of the worst in the SEC. So I think that goes to show you that they're not being developed and they're not in the weight room.
Well, the other proof of that, too, Lauren, is that he changed coaches after 1 year, or after 2 years. After 2 years, he changed his strength coach. Whether he was forced to or not, after 2 years, he changed strength coaches. I mean, that's the proof of that. So
a guy they paid $750,000 to a year.
Yeah.
And he's not any good.
Yeah.
Good hire.
Yeah.
Real good hire there.
So we'll see.
And they can't fire him. So so he's assigned some ridiculous title of director of tactics and motivation.
Yeah. So,
I'll take that job for that salary.
Yeah, I will too. So it'll be interesting to see what winds up happening. We'll keep an eye on it. Got a lot. Obviously, now the real football off season is here. The college off season started earlier for the Gators than some others because they weren't playing in a bowl. Then the college off season started for some that weren't in the playoffs. Then the college off season started for everybody when the season ended. Then the NFL off season started for some earlier because they didn't make the playoffs. Well, now it's everybody. Now we have
no one is playing football.
The football off season is here. So and again, it's a gigantic off season for. I mean, nowadays every off season is big for everybody. Every offseason matters now to everybody. But it is a gigantic offseason.
But some started it off better than others as far as college is concerned because of the transfer portal.
Yeah, that's right. So it'll be very – you're right what you said. His best chance, Hays, is for DJ Lagway to come, play, and to wow. Because the best way to keep your job is to be super close to Lagway, which he is, because Lagway ain't staying.
No.
Okay, so for everybody that wants to see Billy Napier fired, listen to me when I tell you this. Lagway's not staying if he's fired. In today's age of the portal, you think anybody will want him? You think there'll be any suitors?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's gonna be a richer man than he was
Correct.
than he is
Correct.
as we speak today.
Yeah. So again, I'll say it again, for all the people that want to see Billy Napier fired, DJ Lagway is gone. And I say that like I know. I feel about 100% on that one.
Yeah, I can't imagine he would stick around. And again, he's got to be special, and we'll see. I mean, the way it's gone, with Napier, he'll probably be a complete bust. But if he's special, then Billy Napier has a chance to save this thing.
We'll see.
How much do you think the vibe will change after the orange and blue game if people get to see some wow moments from Lagway?
Oh, substantially.
Yeah, I do too. I listen. The beauty of spring games is everybody's going to be good after the spring game. That's
except Florida last year.
I would honestly,
that's right. Good point.
I would give Graham Mertz 5 snaps in that game.
Yeah.
And 3 of them would be handoffs.
Yeah.
And then I'd sit him down, and I would tell that complete moron defensive coordinator that if he blitzes one time, I'm going to cut his arm off. And I would let DJ Lagway go to work for about 600 yards and 5 touchdowns.
If you touch him, not just blitz him, I'll cut your arm off.
He's probably not going to play for both teams, Lagway. So I think let them both play. But to your second point, blitz nobody. Here's the defense I'm running. I'm going to rush one.
Yeah.
I'm going to rush one guy.
Right.
Okay, and I'm going to quintuple team him, and I'm going to throw for 600. I'm both throw for 600 yards. That's what you want.
Should we really put flags on quarterbacks in spring games?
Well, they almost do.
Yeah,
They kind of do.
They're in non-contact, but sure, why not? Just double up on the safety.
That's right. I'm going to rush one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to rush one, except for the times that I drop him in zone blitz coverage. That was an interesting defense Florida played in the spring game. They rushed 0. It was a 0.
Yeah.
It's not cover 0, rush 0.
That spring game needs to be 91-89.
It does.
Then
All right.
Lane Kiffin can't tweet about it.
All right, Lauren, you going to get dinner on your drive back to the station?
I might go get it at the concessions.
You know what? Yeah. That's what you ought to do. We have great concessions here. We hope you do. Enjoy your hour of driving. I usually say your hour off. Enjoy your hour of driving back to the station.
Appreciate it.
Denny Thompson will join us.
We'll see you.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll hear me and see me.
Denny Thompson joins us. We'll talk quarterbacks from the Super Bowl and more after this. 1 hour to go. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Your home for Gators Hoops is 1010XL.
After taking care of business with number 12 Auburn, the Gators get LSU tonight at 7:30 on 1010 AM.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Duval! Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. Johns County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Lauren Brooks here for Hodges Mazda. Why buy from Hodges Mazda at the Avenues? Because they strive to ensure a satisfying and comfortable car buying experience. That's why the sales staff doesn't work on commission, allowing Hodges Mazda to put your best interests first. Whether you're looking for a brand new Mazda or a pre-owned vehicle, Hodges Mazda has a large selection to help you choose from. And every vehicle purchased from Hodges Mazda comes with 2 years free maintenance and free car washes for life. Now that is peace of mind. So visit Hodges Mazda today or shop online at HodgesMazda.com.
Score big with your sweetheart with specials at Southern Steer Butcher. Valentine's Day special listed on our website. Pre-order now for Valentine's Day. SouthernSteerButcher.com.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, frustrated taking pills that don't work. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
A customer called DuckDuckRooter saying they had some nasty stuff backing up inside their home. So we went with our camera to look inside their plumbing lines. And sure enough, tree roots in the sewer line. Need to see what's blocking your lines? Call our team to locate the issue and provide solutions to resolve it. 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. DuckDuckRooter, your fully insured and certified plumbing contractor, residential and commercial.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's kind of cooling down right now. I love opening my windows up this time of year. If you're looking to upgrade your windows in your home, I want you to visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Ask about their latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows and doors, rated #1 by Consumer Reports in all 3 main window categories. You want quality, style, and protection? Visit PellaJacks.com and the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors online at PellaJacks.com.
This is Hays Carlyon for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. SkyLife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at SkyLife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back in the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision and equal opportunity employer.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Window Gang Jacksonville. Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union was a guest this morning of Jaguars Today and shared his thoughts on the future of Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley.
I still think it's about 50-50 because I do know that the Jaguars want him back. I mean, they wouldn't have traded for him if they didn't like him a lot. They wouldn't talk him up this whole time if they didn't like him a pretty good bit. Yeah, there's some things that he needs to get better at, but I mean, for him coming off of 2 years basically, I thought he had a pretty good season.
Demetrius Harvey from the Florida Times-Union this morning with Jaguars Today on the future of Calvin Ridley. It's 63 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security.
Register Sausage.
And George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Home game for the Whisperer.
Lives
right nearby. You come here a lot to train on the football field too, right?
My son comes over here and sprints like 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
I watch him sprint.
Yeah,
he'll come out here and sprint. But man, listen, I'm going to start this off, and I'm just going to give you glowing reviews because this is unbelievable, Frank. This is as somebody who knows how hard this is to pull off. This is amazing, dude. This city has been searching for this for 20 years, and what you've pulled off here, man, is unbelievable. This is bucket list stuff to me.
I appreciate it.
It really is.
And it's a city park. But we certainly were honored to be involved in it.
And I know you're going to give the city credit.
Yeah.
You get credit, but listen, man, it always takes an idea guy.
Yeah.
And it always takes somebody to kind of lead this thing. And y'all can do this segment. I'm going to sit over here and watch Trinity play. Y'all let me know. Y'all need me to chime in. And I'm going to wonder how many cuts it would take Hays to hit this Bishop Snyder pitcher over here.
Go with 179.
Yeah. You know what?
I'm going to go
eventually
the over.
I'll throw the bat at
here's
it.
What I think. Here's what I think. I think we'd all three be up there flailing for a while. I think it'd be a wild flail. I told Denny this during the break. I'm watching this Trinity team out there, and honest to God, every guy out there to me, and I'm not around high school athletes. You are because you train them. They all look 6'2", 205 and ripped, don't they?
Yeah. No, listen.
That's today's athlete, I guess. You're not surprised by it.
It's so funny because I get parents, and if you're listening, I apologize, but they'll tell me about their kid, and their kid's great, fantastic, but the reality is he's 6 foot 180, and that's a good sized kid for most people. But man, I mean, every day in that facility, we've got 6'5", 230, and they're 17 years old. It's amazing how big the guys are and how much work they put into this. These guys aren't big by accident. You can tell by the way they're built.
Yeah, you can.
These guys have done some squats.
Yeah, they have. Every one of them.
Yeah.
Every one of these Trinity guys, you really can.
Yep.
So thank you for your kind comment.
No, this is awesome, Frank.
We're very proud of the park.
Give me a key to the lights and let's roll.
You got it. It's actually a code, and I'll give it to you. So there you go. How did he get the lights on? Frank gave him the code. The Super Bowl was magnificent.
Yeah,
magnificent. I'll get to Mahomes in a minute. Let's start with your guy, Brock Purdy. Thought he played well? How did you feel? You watched
I did. I thought both defenses really flexed.
Yeah.
I thought both offenses did a really good job against both defenses. And, in fact, the play that Kelsey the play that made the game was, in my estimation, the only play that San Francisco just man-upped him by themselves. And you saw it coming out of the huddle, and it was interesting because I was thinking about this since then. Andy Reid, this is my prediction, I don't know, but Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes and crew, that whole crew, spent the entire game trying to figure out how to get Travis Kelce one-on-one. And Mahomes is just good enough that he realized when he was. And if you're watching that game, probably most of you went, uh-oh, like, what's going on down here? And the next thing you know, Kelsey's going, 40-something yards? And that, to me, is high-level football. You don't get impatient. You don't force anything. You just stay with the formations. You stay with the motions, and you just see where's their weakness. And it may come with 2 minutes left in the game, but it's there at some point. And I thought both teams were patient looking for that.
And I thought it was a good step for Brock Purdy. I mean, turnover-free. And San Francisco, I thought, if it was a 7-game series – I'd pick the Chiefs, but I'd probably pick them in 7.
Yeah, you'd pick Mahomes.
Yeah, because I'd pick Mahomes.
That's right.
But,
yeah.
I thought that they had control of the game, and I thought Brock Purdy was good with the football.
I thought he played like a really gritty game, a really smart game. Listen. If you still have doubts about Brock, I think you probably just need to listen to his teammates and listen to what Kansas City had to say. I think this guy is going to be a staple top. I'll be nice and say top 7. I want to say top 5, but I'm going to be nice and say top 7.
The Breeze comparisons really were a lot of the post game from the Kansas City side. Yeah. Do you see that?
Absolutely,
lot of Drew Brees' game and Brock Purdy?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's interesting, man. We've got Austin Reed here in town, and he's so similar to what Brock was when he was in town. There's just that thing that you can't put your finger on, and I think it's easy to go, hey, he's this guy because of his height But he's athletic, y'all. He's super athletic. He's really smart. That. Yeah, he's twitchy.
You saw that in the Lions game.
But the thing that I notice is when you're around these guys, it's just that there's something about them that give you confidence, right? It's, okay, they're not doing it technically the way I love it, but they know what they're doing. And it may look a little different than other people doing it, but it's effective, and it doesn't take long for people to get on board with that.
Now let's get to the other guy.
Man,
pretty amazing.
Listen,
how does he keep every time you think you've seen it all, he does something else?
He's got just, like I said earlier, he's so patient, and most gunslingers aren't, but he is so patient and knows exactly what you're trying to do, and then every now and then he sprinkles in a throw like the one across the field that's just. I've got chill bumps thinking about that throw. That is maybe the best throw I've ever seen in my life. He's rolling left, sets, and throws the ball 60-something yards in stride to the right.
With two guys.
Two guys.
Two guys there.
When it happened, my mouth just dropped.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And so it's like he's got that perfect mixture of he's got Brett Favre when he needs him, but he's got Tom Brady, Peyton Manning when he needs that too. And it's hard to think about how you stop that.
Yeah, and he's got Brett Favre when he needs it. He's got Tom Brady when he needs it, and there's a little bit of Lamar in there when he needs it. That's the thing too.
Maybe the best compliment we can give him is he's just Patrick Mahomes.
And
all those other guys.
Yeah,
he's like redefining what this thing looks like, and it's fun to watch. It stinks for us because back-to-back years we've had guys get beat in the Super Bowl by him.
Right. Yeah,
but
I hear you.
I've told my son this all the time. I want to watch this for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
it's special to watch.
You think he'll be the greatest to ever do it?
Yeah, I do. I think he has now just hit a level where he's coordinating, he's managing, he's making plays. He just gets it, man. He's running the game for them, and Andy Reid's special too. Every now and then you get that thing right where we hope we have it with Peterson and Trevor. You hope you have it to where these two guys are on the same page at a level where come the fourth quarter, if they're within a score, they're going to figure it out, and you got the confidence. Everybody in the building knew they were going to figure it out.
So let me ask you this, because Hays had made the point, and you just did too, about the best ever. So as you train quarterback, how long have you done this? How long have you trained quarterbacks?
Since, I don't know, 2006,
Okay. So
like
you've trained quarterbacks for
a long time.
Yeah, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So to be a great quarterback forever, not forever, but since in the early 80s when the passing, revelation came around, the Elway, Marino, blah, blah, blah. For the first 20 years, 25 years of that, 30 years of that, athleticism wasn't in play. You needed to move around the pocket. You needed to have pocket presence. You needed to step up. But the ability to be athletic, twitchy, running, you didn't need. Now you have to have it. So, Denny, I would think it's even harder now, right? To be all of that, because now there's now one more component you have to have. Am I reading? I mean,
no, you're right. I keep going back to this, and I know people get tired of hearing it, but the rules are so different too.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And I think it gives these guys the opportunity, because back then you had to make the decision if you were going to throw right away or somebody was going to get hurt.
Right.
I mean, there was no rules against the receivers.
Yeah,
right?
Good point.
Now they're protected a little bit more so they can float around. But here's my honest opinion. It takes us right back here. All those guys you just named have one thing in common. It all started on a baseball field.
Yeah, that's right.
Patrick Mahomes got his arm not on a football field, on a baseball field. And I love what I do for a living. But if Patrick Mahomes, just like Anthony Richardson, came to my facility, that guy was made by somebody else. Nobody has anything to do with that but him and God and hard work.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He played the right sports. He's got the right genetics, and he put a ton of work in and learned the game. And now look at it. He played basketball, he played baseball, he played football. Like, pay attention, guys. Pay attention. It's not always just one sport.
So I so agree with that. I told you my Chris Weinke story. Yep. He is the thing that made him angriest in the world was kids that only played one sport, including football. So what's next for Mahomes? He's only 28. What can he get better at? Because it doesn't seem like there's anything he's not already really good at.
He's figuring this stuff out. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I would have to really dig deep for that answer. I think what's obvious for the Chiefs is they need to find that number one guy, because for a long period of that game was controlled by San Francisco's ability to contain Kelsey.
Nobody was open.
Yeah, I mean, once they took away Kelsey, it was a wrap. So I think that's more on Kansas City. But man, you just won a Super Bowl with not even close to your best 11 offensively. Now, that defense is legit.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the answer. Maybe he's so good that if you have a defense that can keep the other team under 30, he's going to win you football games.
You mentioned Anthony Richardson. There's good video of him today throwing for, I guess, the first time since the surgery. What will be the process for Anthony? Do you worry about fundamentals when a quarterback's had a shoulder injury? Is there a process they have to go through to get back to where they are, or is it pretty much as soon as they're medically cleared, that stuff comes back so fast?
Yeah, no, there's a process. There's definitely a process. And I wasn't there today. I don't know if he posted something yesterday that was old. I don't know if that's
then maybe that's what I saw.
Yeah, and the only reason why I know it's old because I was in it, and I wasn't there yesterday.
Okay.
So,
is he in town now?
If he didn't throw, I don't know the answer if he did today or not. But if he did, it's soon. He's very soon. But there's a
here we go.
Baseball incoming.
They're firing at Carlyon. They fired a softball at him before, now they're firing a baseball at him.
Yeah, there definitely is a process that we, like Tom Gormelli, we're so lucky that he's walked through that with him since the surgery. And, I mean, I think you get different times of the year, and I don't want to speak out of my lane here, but there's no rush at this point. I mean, there's really not a rush. Anthony has done an amazing job. He looks physically better than he has ever looked in his life. The offseason ended, and for him, he was ready to work. And so he's been here the last couple of weeks working hard. And if he hasn't already thrown, I know it's soon. We've been dealing with some other real-life stuff outside of football at the Thompson House.
Yeah, I know you have, and you're in our prayers, as I know you know.
I appreciate
that, too.
that.
So we'll take a break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about some of your guys, some of the young guys, not just your guys, some of the young guys as they take the next step. One more segment with Denny. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings. What is this?
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
We have hope. Rebellions are built on hope.
With the power to save the planet. Or at least sports radio in Jacksonville.
They are requesting a call sign. It's
1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This is Hays Carlyon for Register Sausage. Fantastic news is you can now find delicious Register sausage at Publix or Winn-Dixie. Starting 82 years ago in Mariana, Register's is the premium smoked pork sausage of the Southeast. Whether it's for a quick breakfast or dinner with the family, Register's provides the variety and quality that is worth your hard-earned money. Register's premium smoked pork sausage. Taste the difference. Pick up your Register sausage at Publix or Winn-Dixie today, or find them online at registermeats.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
This is Frank Frangie. Join Dan Hickett and me for All Things Gators, our podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Monday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gators Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
This is Hays Carlyon for QC Kinetics. The state of healthcare is always changing, and old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. Great locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain. From arthritis or injury, don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Again, call them for a free consultation, 904-274-5522. Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, great locations. That's QC Kinetics.
Attention veterans, if you have a VA loan, you need to listen to this, especially if your current rate is higher than 6.5%. Now is the time to take advantage of the federal government's VA Streamlined Refinance Program. With my friends at Loan Pronto, you can. Go to loanpronto.com. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto has fixed rate APRs in the 5s. You can drop your rate now. Lower your payment with no income documentation and no appraisal. Do it at loanpronto.com. Their all-digital platform makes it easy. They can even cover your closing costs. If you need cash now, Loan Pronto can get you up to 100% of your home value. You can pay off all your credit cards or other debt and save as much as $1,000 a month. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508 or get a 30-second rate quote at loanpronto.com. Ask about streamlined VA loans, no income doc, and no appraisal. Loan Pronto, 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
My name is Brian. I've lost 42 pounds on Awaken 180. I had a triple bypass in 2018. I had a hip replacement 2.5 years ago. My focus was just getting healthy and being consistent. With this plan, once you establish yourself, if I decide to cheat, I can cheat. I'm burning enough calories a day. I don't have any fear. You know, it's not really a diet. It's a lifestyle change. It changed my perspective on how to eat better and just kind of control yourself. And I hope what this does, I hope it enables somebody in their 60s that has poor health and no hope, that gives them hope. That's my goal.
Wow. Thank you so much, Brian. Hey, this is Matt Hays. And Brian sharing his Awaken 180 story is the exact reason I continue to share my story with all of you. There's hope, there's a plan, and you will succeed with Awaken 180. Online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
This is Ellen Darley of Darley's Plumbing. As a family business, our reputation rests on decades of satisfied customers and their referrals. So for any size plumbing job, call Darley's Plumbing for a free estimate today. Darley's Plumbing, sportswriter.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Danny loves the field so much, even the song doesn't bother him now. Right?
No.
He's in bliss.
This cat is throwing some junk up here now.
He is.
Like, these guys are swinging and just no clue where this ball's at.
Y'all
keep talking. I'm good.
Denny, the quarterback whisperer is here. One more segment today with Denny. All right, let's. I'm going to go through. I'm going to rapid fire some guys. And I'm not saying it because I'm the voice of the team or because I'm trying to be positive, nice guy. It's just my honest opinion. I'm still all in on 16. I think Trevor Lawrence, I think he played with a knee and with a shoulder and with an ankle and with a concussion and with a bad line. But what do you want to see Trevor do differently or better?
I'm with you. I'm all in too, but I will be honest. Like when you go 1-5 in December.
Yeah. You're part of it.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree with that. You're part of it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing for him is just kind of learning what that next level for him is. There's mechanics, there's all that kind of stuff, but on the surface, it looks more to me like this is like we got to get on the same page with everybody. Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna mess up, let's fix it. Let's not still be messing up on routes week 14, 15, 16. And I think a lot of that has to do with the offseason. I mean, it's easy to call a play as a coach. But then when the defense lines up, there's adjustments to that. And if you're, as a quarterback, you don't know what your receiver, how he likes to run that route, or let me flip that. If he doesn't know how you like him to run that route, then at times 2 yards is a long way in the NFL. A guy that runs a 13-yard route instead of 11-yard route will be unemployed very, very quickly. Even to the point where if you come out to our draft prep and this isn't even for anything. This is just normal everyday thing. If we say run a 9-yard route and they run 11, they're getting cussed out by a quarterback, right? So it's that important. So I think for him is just that next step for him is let me take this whole franchise over. Listen, we're going to Hawaii. We're going to Miami. Whatever it is. We're going for a week, and we're going to figure this stuff out with all the receivers on my dime, whatever that looks like. I think that's the step for him because he's made some big steps mechanically the last couple of years. He really has, and his arm talent is unquestioned. He's a tough guy. He's a smart guy. All this stuff should add up to some wins.
You mentioned Austin Reed in the last segment. The combine invitations were sent out today. He's going. What kind of goes into that in terms of how do you find out what teams Austin is going to meet with, kind of what the few days will look like that he's there, and just what an opportunity for him.
Yeah, huge. He had a great week at the Shrine Bowl. And so several teams met with him multiple times, right? And so I would anticipate some of those same teams circle back around in Indy. But, you guys have been, you know it. Everybody is in Indy that week, and people love to meet. People love to have meetings and eat in Indy for 1 week. And so it's one of those things where you're going to have 3 dinners, and it's going to be three different teams, and they're going to act like they like you, and you got to kind of decipher who's real, who's not, and then you just kind of wait. It's a brutal game for a guy like Austin because in one hand you can see Austin going in the 4th round, the other hand you can see a priority free agent, and there's nothing that he can do about that. It all depends on run of quarterbacks and what other people need.
Jordan Travis, is he here yet? What's he doing? What's the plan?
Yeah, I don't think he's here yet. I think he's still doing his his rehab stuff. He's still, trying to get healthy down south.
Okay.
And so he's not quite here yet. I think for him, like that's nobody needs to run a 40. Nobody needs to do anything like that. He just needs to be healthy. I think he's got enough tape that if he can just show he's healthy and he'll be ready come training camp, I think somebody will probably give him a chance.
What is he? What is he? Where would you mock him? Where would you mock him healthy?
Healthy, I'd say third.
Third round?
Early third.
Yeah.
So I would say with this, I think there's going to be a club that believes he's going to be fine medically.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's dinged all that much. I'll say he ends up going late third and maybe a little bit of a surprise. But I think he's got a chance to be really, really good in the NFL.
I think if you're – and I don't know their backup quarterback situations of any of these teams, but I think if you look around the league and you look at Baltimore and you look at Philadelphia and you look at some of those other teams, just the worst-case scenario of having a quarterback that can run the same offense that your quarterback's currently running, I think is a very attractive thing for people. And if he's healthy, he's shown enough on film that you got to feel comfortable that he can do that.
I would like him in Arizona, behind Kyler, who may not work out. And, I think that's not overly sizzling. If you're an FSU fan, you're like, well, I don't want him playing for the Arizona Cardinals. I want to be able to see him on. But, I think that'd be a good spot, too, because of what they do with Kyler Murray. And you're not really sure if Kyler Murray is going to be there.
Yeah, I think it's a tough thing because he's done enough. He was going to win a Heisman maybe if he'd have stayed healthy, right? He's done enough to where he has shown the juice to play in the NFL, but the reality of the situation is I don't think that he's going to go high enough to where somebody's going, hey, we're drafting the future. So you do have to play a complementary role, and you hope to find yourself in, I don't know, Vegas, New Orleans, somewhere like that where there is a competition to be had in the future, and then you just kind of build and look for your opportunity from there. But he's certainly capable of having a long career on Sundays, that's for sure.
Take me through Gardner Minshew's all season now. Obviously, free agency. How does it work? Any gut? Too early?
Yeah, too early on that. I think we tried to play that game last year, and you end up just talking about it so much that you just get kind of fatigued. So he and I have talked a couple times in the last couple of weeks, and any time it comes up, if I mention it, he's like, shh. If he mentions it, I'm like, no, we're not talking about it. We're just working. We're going to trust that God's got a better plan, and it's going to work out. And so he this week he's starting down in Naples, and I'll join them some next week, a couple days next week. And then, for me, life is for the next few months is Athens, Naples, Auburn, Tallahassee, Miami. Is on a pretty regular basis. So that's now through July.
That sounds like fun.
It's not a bad gig if you can get it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. In terms of looking at some of the other quarterbacks that are headed to the combine, anybody that you think is going to nail the process, somebody that maybe isn't in that top tier of Caleb and Drake and Jaden?
I think it's interesting. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I heard somebody say, maybe Austin told me, that there was only 14 quarterbacks invited to the combine this year, which last year they ran two groups that I want to say there were 14 or 15 people in each group, right? So I don't know. I think this is interesting because there's a lot of guys when you look at this class like Michael Pratt, who a year ago people were talking about was a first-rounder, and I haven't heard anything about Michael Pratt. Guys like Sam Hartman. Like, you don't hear anything about these guys. They will sneak back into the picture in Indianapolis with a couple good interviews and a good showing. And then I think you got guys that like J.J. McCarthy who from what I've heard is going to put on an absolute clinic at the combine. So I would be looking for those. I'm gonna stay in Bo Nix's corner a little bit because I just believe if we're talking about the combine, what are you going to hold against that kid? He's athletic, he's an accurate passer, he's got a good arm, and my gosh, he's got a ton of film. And so a lot of the same things that we're saying about Austin, you've got that with Bo Nix, but he's also going to go out there and he's going to run a 4.5 or a 4.6, and he's going to jump 34, 35. He's going to be an explosive athlete.
I got to tell you, you mentioned Pratt and Hartman because we heard a lot about them in the offseason. Watching them just during their college season, I was underwhelmed by I thought they were Mertz, same guy. They're good, smart quarterbacks. But you know what I mean? I didn't know that any of them, like Bo Nix has got a gun.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is athletic. Michael Penix is really, there's difference between those guys and these other guys we heard a lot about. Just to my eye.
That highlights, too, how hard this thing is for these NFL teams.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. It's Joe Milton is if you were going to draw a quarterback,
Yeah.
I mean, you would draw Joe. I watched him warm up against Georgia, Tennessee, and my gosh, I mean, I was like I am out here. I just love to see people throw things, and this guy was so much fun to warm up. But what is it? Like, I mean, he's got every trait that Anthony Richardson has physically, but they don't have the buzz that Anthony Richardson has.
No.
Right?
No.
So there's things, but he can throw a ball like Anthony Richardson can.
Right.
These guys are so good, and I know we say they're not, but these guys are so good at finding those little traits, identifying them early. So when you hear of a guy early, if you hear like Pratt early, NFL saying this about him, usually that works out, but it doesn't. That's why I'm saying I think some of these guys are going to come back around. It doesn't seem like it's going to this year. It did last year. It did, man, the guys that I heard before the season were going in the first round, you know what happened? They went in the first round.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this about everybody in the offseason wanted to compare Milton to Anthony Richardson. 6'4", runs 100 miles an hour, can throw it from here to Macon, and all of that is true. But for all the things Anthony Richardson didn't do at Florida, he took over games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he took over some games.
Yeah.
And Joe Milton didn't take over games.
No.
There was no, as far as a football player, not a tester, as far as a football player, there was no comparison between those two guys.
Yeah, you guys got a chance to sit down with Anthony at SEC Media Days before everybody got to see him. And I tell people this all the time. I was like, you sit with him, man, and you can feel a difference. You feel a difference between him and everybody else. He's got a presence to him. And I think that's a big part of this.
Yeah.
I think when we go into Indianapolis in a couple weeks, that's the strength of Austin Reed, to get back to that, is when he walks in that room, y'all, that room lights up. The temperature goes up. And it's always been that way. I'm going to wait for him. He's going to come on in a couple weeks with me.
Good. I'd love to have you.
And I'm going to wait to tell a story until then. But I remember the day that we identified Austin as a pro prospect.
Yeah.
And he was shocked that day. And he even told me that day, he's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
And now we're here. And largely, yes, he's gifted physically. It was him walking in that facility during COVID with guys like Gardner Minshew and Josh Dobbs and Mac Jones and Carson Beck. And when he walked in, everybody went up.
Yeah.
When he walked in, every single person got better. They didn't rise to his level. He makes them rise to the highest level they can go. And, man, that's rare.
I look forward to meeting him. Final thing I do want to ask you about Anthony Richardson. We have other times we'll have you on. We've talked a lot about Carson Beck and your college guys. But let's talk about the pro guys. So Anthony Richardson now. I would say, obviously, a wonderful kid and an immense talent. He's got to prove he can stay on the field.
Yep.
I think that's number one. Mm-hmm. I almost get the impression that some of the other stuff, the accuracy, will come. The only question I think I've got left for him is, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair question. And is there anything you can do? Is it just a luck of the draw, Denny? What's your read on that?
Yeah, there's things you can do. I mean, when you're 6'4" and 3/4 and 250, you're pretty big.
There's
right?
muscles to pull.
That's
yeah,
right. I mean, it's soft tissue. This year wasn't so much that. But there's things you can do that are being done in training, flexibility-wise. And we saw it with Mahomes this year, some of the ways his body kind of contorted. And I would say that's probably the biggest training difference these days, and even 10 years ago, is these PTs like Tom are so involved with injury prevention now instead of just retreating this injury. So I think as he gets older, he will get that. I referenced that Mahomes throw last segment. He can make that throw.
No question.
And there's
no doubting that stuff.
Yeah, there's not many people, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you probably can count on three fingers who can make that throw.
Yeah, there's a reason you go 4th overall.
That's right.
It's because you're a handful of guys that can make – as far as make that fill-in-the-blank throw, well, there's no problem there. It doesn't matter what the fill-in-the-blank is. Mm-hmm. There's no problem.
And he's gotten a lot more accurate. I mean, just through the whenever you get to spend 3 months working on nothing but your mechanics, like they do coming out of college, it's the only time in their life they get to do it.
Right.
You just get more accurate because even if we're wrong, you're doing the same thing over and over again, right?
That's right.
It's you're setting a pattern. So I am so excited. I'm as excited for next football season as I've ever been for any season. Not just because of our guys, but I think college football is getting ready to take a big jump in a way. I'm a traditionalist, but I love where it's going.
Yeah.
The NFL's pulling numbers right now like it has never pulled before, and it's just getting better and better. So I'm in the right business at the right time, fellas.
Danny Thompson, the quarterback whisperers. We'll see you next week. Danny,
Thank
thanks,
you.
buddy.
Thank you.
Back in a moment to wrap the program. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NBA heading to All-Star Weekend, which will be held in Indianapolis. The dunk contest held this weekend. Matt McClung is the betting favorite to win the dunk contest at -190. Celtics Jaylen Brown at +420. Jacob Toppin +600. And Jaime Jaquez is +650. As for the All-Star game itself, it's going back to the Eastern versus Western Conference format. The Western Conference captained by LeBron James -148. The East captained by Giannis Antetokounmpo +126. This update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
A customer with an older home and galvanized piping called saying they had poor water pressure. It smelled bad and was discolored. So we at Duck Duck Rooter sent a highly skilled manager to discuss options. How repiping the water lines would solve the issues. The result? Clean flowing water. Call for your free estimate, 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Serving commercial and residential, fully insured and certified plumbing contractor.
Is your roof showing signs of wear and tear? Well, don't wait for problems to escalate. Call Universal Roofing Contracting today to schedule your complimentary roof inspection. Right now, get 15% off roof replacement or repairs, plus flexible financing. This offer expires February 29th and restrictions apply. Universal Roofing Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
In sports, the grind outside the lines is what ultimately defines our success. Get the amateur's edge, powered by B3 Better, to learn the hidden path of top pros, amateurs, and coaches. Saturday mornings at 11 on 1010XL.
Listen up, poker players. The Run Good Poker Series is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville from March 14th to the 24th. The Run Good Poker Series features 10 poker events, including the $1,200 no-limit hold'em main event with a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool. And event number 1, $400 no-limit hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. Win your way into the tournament through satellite starting March 2nd and running throughout the month at Best Bet Jacksonville. Check out the Run Good Series structures and details at bestbetjacks.com.
It's time for some University of North Florida baseball. The Ospreys and the Florida Gators hit the diamond Tuesday, February 20th at Harmon Stadium. First pitch at 6. Reserve your seat now at unfospreys.com/tickets. Safe! They're going fast, so get yours today to see the Ospreys take on one of the nation's top teams in the Gators. unfospreys.com. unfospreys.com. Swoop!
Hoops fans, meet the Jacksonville 95ers, the city's newest basketball heroes. Get up close, grab autographs, snap photos, and feel the thrill. Wednesday, February 28th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Players Grill Mandarin. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
Pickett here. When it comes to your eye health, you want to make the winning move. That's where Bow 9 Associates comes in. February, it's the month of love. And what better way to show some love than taking care of your family's vision? Bow 9 isn't just about seeing clearly. They're about making sure your eye game is in its prime. And folks, they got not one, not two, but 3 convenient locations across town. I call that home court advantage. So call Bow 9 Associates and schedule your winning eye exam. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
American Electrical, Northeast Florida's highest-rated electricians, is hiring, and they're looking for people to train for careers. It's not just job training. They're giving you a license that no one can take away from you. training you for jobs that are always in demand and will offer you a peace of mind financially and for the future. Once you know a trade, you'll always be employable. All the details are at American-Electrical.com, and with their American Electrical Academy, if you're selected, you'll learn the electrical trade absolutely free of charge. American Electrical Contractors, powered by professionalism.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Doors, please. Time now for the Sky Life Elite Take Flight Moment of the Week. Sky Life Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Pajemski has it. Here come the screens. Curry comes free. Gets the ball, puts up a three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry nails the three-pointer with 7/10 of a second remaining. More Curry chaos. His 9th three-pointer. He's got 30 points.
I mean, the wherewithal to make the catch under this kind of a pass and be on balance. And come on, Mike.
It was one of the most amazing things I saw this weekend. And Steph Curry has done a lot of amazing things on a basketball court, but his game winner to beat Phoenix 113-112 was a perfect take flight moment. And Curry now with 3,631 three-pointers in his NBA career. The 35-year-old dazzled us again. And, again, Sky Life Elite, that's who you need to call if you're looking to upgrade your air adventures, get away from layovers, unruly passengers, and all that stuff that we don't like about commercial air travel. Give our friends at Sky Life Elite a call at 490-9332. You can also find them at flyskylife.com.
Yeah, by the way, if you want to fly, and again, we've tried to tell you this, it's so much more affordable than you can think. So if you want to travel somewhere, really give Sky Life Elite a call. You'll be saying, I never thought I'd have my own. I could really rent a charter flight. Yeah. So you really can do that. That's what you do if you want to fly. What do I do if I want to hear more NBA? Like on a Sunday?
I know.
Where would I go?
We need a guy.
Where would you recommend?
I'd recommend RJ.
RJ, what's coming up this week, bro? What we got?
So, the basketball show for the basketball fan, it's Open Gym on Sundays at 11 o'clock. Looking to have another amazing show. I'm going to talk about the Orlando Magic schedule at the second half of the season. Also going to talk about some of the great Orlando Magic All-Star moments since Paolo Banchero's been named an NBA All-Star. And we may have to go out to Los Angeles and talk with Mike Trudell, the sideline reporter of the Los Angeles Lakers, to get all the news and notes there on the second half of the year. Can lightning strike twice? And can this go from a play-in team to a team that goes to the Western Conference Finals or further? And we'll discuss all that with Mike Trudell on Sunday.
5 greatest ever. Shaq, Dwight Howard, Penny. That's 3. Where am I going with it? Nick Anderson?
Jeff Turner.
Who's 4, RJ? If we go Shaq,
Banchero
Dwight,
might be 4.
Shaq, Dwight Howard, and Penny are 3. Not Nick Anderson? He's not up there?
So my 4 has been, and I talked with Dante Marcatelli about this as well. He agrees that the 4 are Shaq, Dwight, Penny, McGrady.
Oh, McGrady.
That's right.
And he says that there's several guys you can put at number 5. He threw out names like Dwight. Not Dwight. I'm sorry. Darryl Armstrong. He said Hito Turkoglu you could sprinkle in there. Nick Anderson you can sprinkle in there. So he said there's a lot of names that you can put there. He said, but five is difficult. If Tim Duncan would have came to the Magic, maybe you would have been 5.
Nick Anderson for me.
Yeah. Go Banchero.
Yeah. By the time
I know it's early.
By the time it's over,
yeah.
Right? So there you go. All right, very good.
RJ, I was looking at the stats today because you got me thinking on your show about, is the scoring a little out of whack with guys going for 70, and is that going to lose any luster? I was surprised. There are 48 players right now averaging at least 20 points in the NBA. Does that seem high to you?
Oh, yeah, that's incredibly high. The interview that I had last week with Kurt Heelan, he did say that, it seems like the Rules and Competition Committee for the NBA is probably going to look at this after the season and say, can we allow defensive players to get away with just a little bit more than we have in previous years? No, we don't want it to be the Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers where those were wrestling matches, but should we make it to where not everything is a foul and guys are going to the line, 10 to 15 times a night, and they're able to manipulate the referees and the defense? So it is definitely going to be interesting to see just kind of how that goes this offseason.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch, no question about it. All right, we're almost out of time. Just got a few minutes left to go in the program. I was thinking about this the other day. Players' Championship's almost here.
I know, it's getting close.
Isn't that great? I mean, we are an eyelash from the Players' Championship. I needed to get through the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, and pitchers and catchers, and we'll talk more about that because I'm excited about baseball. I'm always
March
excited.
Madness.
But, I mean, the March Madness, the players. Man, oh, man. Again, I can't get in players' vibe until we get through. By the way, Lee Smith will be out here with us tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I can't get in players' vibe until the Super Bowl's over. Now, I'm excited about it because of all the guff that's going on in golf right now. We still have the players. Of all the stuff that's wrong with golf, PIF and LIV, and what are they going to do and how's it going to play out, the players is the magic of Sawgrass. And you know what? 17 is magical. People say, oh, let's talk about the other holes. Well, let's talk about 17 because that's the magical hole. And that's what makes that event magical. And those last 3 holes, I'm getting kind of geeked up a little. I really am.
I am too. I think Justin Thomas is going to win it.
You do?
Yeah, I think it's.
You're not kidding. You really do.
I really do. I think he's going to have. He's won it before, so that's. Yeah. But he's been in a slump. I think he's working his way out of it, and I think Justin Thomas is going to win the Players' Championship.
I would love somebody like that. A guy. Gosh, how younger players now? We start talking about Justin Thomas, one of the old guys, but certainly one of the established guys. Yeah, I would love it to be an established. It was great that Scheffler won because he's the best player in the world, or he and Rahm are the two best players in the world. But wouldn't that be great? I'd love to see Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas is a nice guy. I can remember one time I think he had missed the cut, and we saw him Friday night. Suzanne and I were at Aqua Grill. He was there, and he was there with a date or a wife or whoever it was. It was years ago. I don't know if he was married by then, but it was. And could not have been nice to everybody. It was just friendly and nice to everybody. Say, I wouldn't mind the Alabama boy winning, but I am. I'm excited about that. This is an interesting time of year because obviously we're out here at our walk-off charities, high school baseball and softball classic, which means high school baseball and college baseball are starting. College baseball starts this weekend. College baseball is underway. Which is exciting. JU, UNF, Florida State, they all play this weekend, which is obviously very exciting stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. The players around the corner, March Madness around the corner. It's almost like there's football season, and then there's the other season.
Yeah.
And it's all, even for me, a baseball guy, it's all football and everything else. It kind of wraps into it.
Yeah, the year really is split in half for me, for sure. From late, because I love training camp. So like late July.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gold. I'm gold from late July until early February. And then the other 6 months is kind of a slog for me as a sports fan. For me, it's more quick bursts of things I love. I love high championship level golf. So obviously you get 5 really big events there with the players and the 4 majors. I love March Madness, so that gives you 2 or 3 great weekends there. But it's like, and to your point earlier, football does stay, you do have free agency. That's an incredible few days of content. You have the NFL draft, which is obviously a marquee event for me. It's not a game being played.
We'll be at the Combine.
We'll be there, which will be a lot of fun. So, there's enough. And then we've talked about this. Then you get in the summer, and that's when it's time to go to the Turks and Caicos.
That's exactly right. So it comes up in just a bit. Rick Ballou will join us in just a moment. One thing we have talked about is certainly the college basketball realm. If Florida wins tonight, and I think they're going to against LSU, and wins Saturday, and at least right now I think they're going to win at Georgia. They're better than Georgia. So if they win tonight, and all of a sudden then you're 18-7 and 8-4. And now all of a sudden you're recognized. Now you're widely, and would you agree? Now you're
I would,
widely
yeah.
recognized.
Because again, a lot of these teams are going to take on losses. If Florida goes 2-0 this week with wins at home tonight against LSU and then at Georgia, neither one of those wins are significant. But there's going to be losses happening around Florida, and really the narrative is, has changed for the Gators. It's not can they make the tournament. Well, that they're in the tournament. They're going to have to play really poorly to play their way out of it. But now I think if you're Florida, I mean, a 6-2 finish in their final 8 going into the SEC tournament, I think is attainable for them. That would be, probably splitting against Alabama, losing at South Carolina, and then holding serve with the
that's
5
realistic.
games that they have.
That's realistic.
That remaining that against poor competition. So I think something like that. If they go 6-2, I think they've got a chance to get to like the 6th line.
Is that 22 wins then?
Yeah, and so and that would be big for Florida if they could get to the 6th seed. I don't think they can go any higher than that, and certainly you can make an argument that being a 5 seed is sometimes not a lot of fun with that 5-12 dreaded matchup. But I think they can get to the 6th, and you're playing an 11. Might be playing a play-in game, so somebody that was playing 2 nights before. And even if you don't, you get the win. Yeah, you're playing in all likelihood a 3 seed, and that's a really good team, but it's not one of the elites. So I think now for Florida, you look at the projections; they're right in that 8-9 window now. I saw one projection that had Florida as the 8, playing St. Mary's the 9.
Yeah.
St. Mary's is where Golden went to school, so that would certainly be an interesting matchup for him. And then another one, it was an 8-9, and Florida was playing Michigan State.
Right.
So it would be Izzo versus Golden.
Yeah.
But just good to see Florida back on that bracket.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been a while, and it was something that I think, as fans we took for granted that, well, Florida always make the NCAA tournament. But it's been a few years, so it's exciting to see Florida back in the mix, and certainly they should be able to make a climb, try and get to the 6th seed, and see if you can get hot.
Yeah, because that 8-9 seed's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
That's a tough one because it's hard. It's 1 seeds are hard to beat.
Yeah,
it's hard to beat the 1 seed. No matter what, it's always going to be hard. It's hard. No matter what, it's hard to beat the 1 seed.
Yeah, one projection had them playing. It would have, assuming they got past. I think it was they got past St. Mary's. They were playing Purdue, and the other one, if they got past Michigan State, they were playing Houston. I mean, so it's tough.
I told you before, if you don't have to be in that play-in game, I'd rather be an 11 than a 9.
Sure.
Because I really because realistically, the 11, if you're an 11. You can beat the 6,
right?
And then you get
a 14 could beat a 3.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen all that often.
But even if you get the 3,
yeah,
if you're playing the 3, there's a drop off in my mind. There's a big drop off after the 1 line, really big drop off after the 2 line. That means the top 8 are gone.
Right.
So you don't have to play usually not every year. Every year is different. But usually the top 6 to 8 teams are hard to beat. After that, it's. You can beat somebody, so we'll see. We're going to say hello to our friends from Helmets and Heels in just a second. Do want to remind you we are live out here at the Bragan Baseball Complex. The Walk-Off Charities High School baseball and softball tournaments continue along, and we'll continue to update you on those. Let's say hello to Mia.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
Mia, I think you're coming out here to see this ballpark tomorrow, aren't you?
I am. Maybe even do a little video. Does that work, Frank? Get the word out there. I like the sound of that. And, of course, our good friend Lee Smith will be joining us, which, of course, we always are excited for our collaboration with the players as well as walk-off charities. And so hopefully great weather on tap for tomorrow. But, yes, very excited to get out there tomorrow.
Can't wait to see you out here. What was your main take from the Super Bowl? We haven't visited since.
Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. Even when it was 10-0 and they had 8 yards of offense, you just couldn't shake this feeling of they're going to figure it out. My favorite commercial was the Michael Cera one. And listen, I'm not going to say I'm like a Swiftie, although many of you would argue that. But, here's the reality of it, is she was a machine long before the NFL got involved, and she knows exactly what she's doing. I hope she's following her heart with the whole Travis Kelce thing. It's not a surprise to me that here we are where the most famous person on planet Earth is getting all the love and attention from the National Football League. Oh, wait for it, perhaps the most prolific, if only in pop culture league in the world, with all due respect to the soccer leagues in Europe.
I think you're right. I think you're dead on. What's coming up tonight? What are you doing?
Well, speaking of the Players' Championship, Miranda Rossum going to join us in studio for the first time as we start counting down to the Players' Championship. I got a chance to go out there yesterday for the Celebrity Charity Shootout, which Jim Furyk won against all odds. I mean, I got to tell you, Josh Scobie and Dee Brown brought it, and then on the final opportunity, and then mind you, Frank and Hays, they moved the pin for Jim, so it was tucked away behind that bunker on the island green off to the right. He still was able to drop it 2 feet from the pin, and so just a great shot to end it with. And, of course, $50,000 going to the Jim and Tabitha Furyk Foundation, $5,000 going to those other charities as well. And so all the great stuff with the Players' Championship. The momentum is building, and, of course, we are happy to be a part of it here at 1010XL.
I can also tell you that Jim and Tabitha were very kind and have continued to be very kind to walk-off charities, too. So they not only do they have a great charity, but they help so many others. So that's the cool stuff. All right, that's all coming up tonight on Helmets and Heels. Thank you, Mia.
Appreciate it. And by the way, since I heard you talking about them, plenty of Florida fans aren't happy with me that I ranked South Florida in this week's AP poll, or at least on my ballot, and not the Gators. Win tonight. Take care of business against Mike White. Maybe you'll get a vote from me on Monday, Gator fans.
Fair enough. That's all they got to do. All right, sounds good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Mia and Taylor and Lauren, they have Helmets and Heels. That comes up in just a bit. That'll do it for our program. Thanks for being part of it, but don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels comes up right now. Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, and same location. We'll be here at day 3 of the Walk-Off Charities High School Baseball and Softball Classic. Thanks for joining us. For Hays, for Lauren, for RJ, I'm Frank Frangie. Have a great night.